The day loosens its grip. You can feel it. The world exhaling after holding its breath for too long. Light melts along the edges of your room like honey spilled across the horizon, and everything begins to dim, to slow, to hush. You have done enough for today. Whatever is unfinished can remain so. The world will continue turning without your hands upon it. You do not need to keep watch over it now. Take a breath, not a deep one, just one that feels like a small bow to this moment. Notice the way air enters, soft and cool, and leaves, warm and gentle. Your body knows this rhythm better than your thoughts do. It has been breathing since before you ever tried to control it. Let the air move the way it wants to. Let it come. Let it go. Nothing in this moment asks you to perform or to prove. The night only asks you to arrive. Look around your space, wherever you are. Perhaps the room is dim. Perhaps there's a faint golden light leaking through the curtain. Or maybe only the moon waits with you. Each shadow is kind tonight. Each sound, a whisper of rest. You might still feel a hum of energy in your chest. That familiar buzz that insists you should be doing, thinking, planning. But even that, you can greet softly. You don't have to silence it. Just notice it, as you would a restless child. You can tell it, it's okay. We're safe. We're done for today. The night doesn't demand stillness. It invites it, the way the tide invites the moon. Slowly, naturally, without force. Now, listen to your heartbeat. It doesn't rush anymore. It has learned the pace of dusk. Every pulse says, here, still, here, still enough. Outside, a single breeze brushes past your window. The world has begun its quiet turning. There's a rhythm to it, a reminder that endings are simply the start of slower beginnings. You are entering that rhythm now. You don't have to hold yourself upright. You can let gravity cradle you. You can let the bed, the air, the night, all of it, carry your weight. In this quiet, you are not separate from anything. The same stillness that moves through the trees moves through you. Let this be the moment you arrive, not at a destination, but at rest. There's a certain heaviness that lingers at the end of a day, not always painful, not even sad, but dense, like the air after rain. It's the weight of everything you carried. The words, spoken and unspoken, the small victories that went unnoticed, the tasks half finished, the thoughts that kept circling back for one more answer. It's all still with you, isn't it? The mind is reluctant to let the curtain fall. It keeps rehearsing the same scenes, the same conversations, as if it could rewrite them in the dark. But you don't have to. You can set them down now, all of them. They will not vanish if you let them rest. Nothing you left undone tonight will disappear. It will wait, patient as dawn, until you are ready to begin again. Take a moment to feel the truth settle in your body. Let your shoulders drop a little. Let your jaw unclench. Notice the small release. That's what letting go feels like. Not dramatic, not final. Just lighter, as if a bag you didn't realize you were carrying has been quietly lifted from your arms. The day had its own gravity. It pulled you through hours of doing and thinking and becoming. You moved through it bravely, even when no one saw, even when it felt ordinary or unfinished. The mind often confuses progress with perfection. But the truth is simpler. You were alive. You showed up. You did what you could. That is enough. There's beauty in the incompleteness of a day. If everything were finished, what would tomorrow be for? Impermanence gives rhythm to living. It allows us to rest. You don't need to tie every thread before you sleep. The weave continues while you dream. Imagine your day as a tide receding. Each worry, each thought draws back with the rhythm of your breath. It leaves behind only soft sand, a clean space for the night to write its quiet poem. Now, feel the air against your skin. Cool, patient, gentle. The night doesn't judge what you did or didn't do. It only wraps around you, holding the edges of your weariness until it begins to dissolve. The body is wiser than the mind. It knows when enough has been given. Listen, that subtle ache behind your eyes, the slow pulse beneath your ribs. They are your body's way of saying, it's time. So, let the day fall away like a coat sliding from your shoulders. You are not abandoning it. You are simply allowing it to rest too. And as the wind sighs outside your window, let that sound remind you. The world continues its quiet turning, without effort, without rush. You can join it now. You can rest, because everything passes. There is a part of you that has been trying all day to keep things in order, to hold the pieces together, to make sense of the noise that never quite stops. It's the same part that keeps reaching for control, as if stillness could be achieved through will, as if peace was something you could arrange neatly like objects on a shelf. But peace isn't earned. It isn't managed or organized. It's what remains when you stop trying to hold everything in place. Control is a kind illusion born from our wish to feel safe. We imagine that if we grip tightly enough, life will stay the way we need it to. But life moves, always. It flows the way smoke does, beautiful only when it's free to rise, shifting shape, fading, becoming. Try to hold smoke in your hand and it disappears. Try to hold time and it slips between your fingers. Try to hold yourself perfectly still and you will feel the ache of what cannot be kept. Let that ache soften you. It is not failure. It's truth. Tonight, you do not need to direct the world. You don't even need to direct yourself. You can simply watch what is already happening. Your breath moving in and out, your heart beating without request, the air carrying its cool weight across your skin. You are not the keeper of these things. They belong to the rhythm of life itself. You are part of that rhythm, not above it, not outside it. When you let go of the need to control, you make space for trust. Not trust in outcomes or in plans, but trust in the quiet intelligence of existence. It has carried stars across galaxies. It has carried oceans to shore and seeds to bloom. It can carry you into rest. Allow the muscles in your hands to soften. Notice how often they curl without you realizing, how they reach for what cannot be held. Let them open. Let the fingers uncurl. This is surrender, not defeat, but the remembering that you are safe even when you release your grip. Nothing in this moment asks to be fixed. No thought demands to be solved. You can let everything drift. Your plans, your regrets, your questions, like petals set loose upon a stream. Watch them float away, slowly, beautifully. They do not sink. They simply move beyond your sight. You do not lose yourself when you let go. You meet yourself again, beneath the noise, beneath the wanting, beneath the endless doing. You are not the wind's direction. You are the air it moves through. And in this small surrender, you find what you were searching for all along. The quiet that was waiting beneath your hands. Sometimes, when the lights go out and the world quiets, the mind refuses to follow. It It circles itself, turning one thought into another, a stream that keeps finding new stones to ripple over. You lie here, eyes half closed, but the current of thinking does not rest. It drifts from one memory to the next, a conversation you wish had gone differently, a task waiting for tomorrow, a question that has no answer but insists on being asked again. It's like standing beside a river at night. You can't stop the water from flowing, and you don't need to. You only need to stop trying to dam it. Let it pass. Let it shimmer in its own restless light. There's a quiet beauty in watching the mind move. Each thought rises, flashes, disappears. A glimmer of light, a memory, a worry, all drifting by on the surface of awareness. You are not the river. You are the space that holds it. So much of our exhaustion comes not from the thinking itself, but from the effort to silence it, to wrestle it into submission. But tonight, you are invited to lay down the struggle. You don't need to stop thinking. You just need to stop fighting. Let the mind think. The way a stream flows, the way leaves tremble when the wind passes. They do not resist the motion. They dance with it. Notice the texture of your thoughts. Some are heavy, some are bright. Some cling for a moment before slipping away. You can let them all exist. They are not intruders. They are simply energy, passing, shaping, dissolving. What if you didn't have to fix them? What if every thought was allowed to be incomplete, unfinished, imperfect, like a wave that rises only to fall again? You don't need to control the tide of your mind. You only need to float. The truth is, the mind doesn't know how to stop, but the body does. The body knows how to rest. Let the thoughts move above you, like clouds drifting while you lie beneath them. Eyes closed, hands resting softly on the chest. The sky doesn't mind the passing clouds. It stays open. It stays vast. It never demands silence, only space. You can give your thoughts that same kindness. No judgment, no effort, just a quiet noticing. Here is one thought, and now it's gone. Here comes another, and it too will leave. What remains, when you stop chasing stillness, is stillness itself. It was never far away. It was simply waiting beneath the noise. Steady, patient, already complete. So as you listen now, let your thoughts drift where they will. Let them weave their small stories, knowing they will fade like mist at dawn. You are not your thinking. You are the quiet that watches. You are the river's reflection, calm even as the water moves. Listen closely now, beneath everything. Beneath the hum of your thoughts, the echoes of the day, the sounds that live in the walls and air, there is something steady, something unbroken. It's easy to believe that stillness means silence, that to be calm, everything must stop. But stillness isn't the absence of movement or sound. It's the space that holds them, the vastness that allows every sound to exist. Even now, your room has its small symphony, the low whisper of air, the creak of the floorboards as they settle, the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. Nothing here is perfectly still, and yet, can you feel the stillness inside it? Close your eyes for a moment and listen not to the sounds, but through them. Notice how the hum of the night rests inside something larger, a soft, invisible field that never moves. That is where stillness lives. It doesn't hide from sound. It welcomes it. Every noise, even the restless voice in your mind, is just a wave rising within a quiet sea. The surface moves, but the depth remains calm. untouched. You don't need the world to fall silent to find peace. You only need to remember that you are not the noise. You are the space that holds it. When you listen this way, the ordinary becomes sacred. The hum of a refrigerator, the sigh of the night outside your window, all of it becomes part of a great breathing stillness. Meditation is not a war against sound. It's a soft listening, a widening of your awareness until there is room for everything, even chaos, even chatter, even the pulse of the city at night. When you stop resisting, the noise loses its sharpness. It becomes part of the rhythm. A reminder that stillness is not fragile. It cannot be broken by sound, because it is the silence beneath sound. Your thoughts might still wander. That's all right. Let them wander through the spaciousness you're now feeling. You don't have to follow them. Just listen. Not for the words they carry, but for the quiet that holds them together. You may notice how even the chatter begins to sound softer, as though it too is tired. Let it rest. Let it dissolve into the hum of the night. Stillness does not need perfection. It only needs permission. And in this moment, you are giving it that permission, simply by not pushing anything away. Now, breathe. Feel the air entering and leaving, the gentle vibration of life within you. Even this breath makes sound a whisper of being. And yet the stillness beneath it remains, unchanged, infinite, holding everything like open hands. In that awareness, nothing is noise anymore. Everything becomes part of the quiet. There is a quiet truth that waits beneath every worry. Nothing stays. Not the noise, not the ache, not even the thoughts that seem too heavy to carry. Everything in its own time passes. Even this moment, tender and uncertain, is already fading into memory. And there's comfort in that, isn't there? The knowing that whatever rises will also fall. Your mind has learned to fear change. It clings to what feels safe, even if what feels safe is pain itself. It whispers, if I can control it, I can survive it. But you don't need to control what is already moving through you. You only need to let it move. Anxiety is just weather. It rolls in with wind and cloud, casts its shadow for a while, and then it goes. It always goes. When you stop fighting the storm, you begin to feel the rhythm inside it. The heartbeat of impermanence. Every pulse of worry carries within it the seed of stillness, because no feeling lasts. Even this one right now is already softening around the edges. Look at your thoughts the way you might watch the tide. They come forward, full of energy, then retreat. Each wave returns to the sea that sent it, and the shore remains. You are that shore. Quiet, patient, eternal. There is a sweetness in accepting what changes. The fear of losing becomes the joy of seeing how life moves, how emotions breathe in and out, how even pain can have its own beauty when you stop trying to make it permanent. Think of how the sky holds every kind of weather without ever becoming the storm. That is your mind. That is you. Let this truth settle in your chest. Whatever you feel tonight, the restlessness, the worry, the ache, it is not forever. It is simply visiting. You can greet it, thank it for reminding you that you are alive, and then watch it leave. You don't have to chase calm. You don't have to fix your thoughts. You only have to remember that nothing is stuck. Not your breath, not your mind, not this night. Even sleeplessness will pass. Even the effort to fall asleep will dissolve into sleep itself. Impermanence is not something to fear. It is mercy. It is how the world keeps giving you new chances to rest, to feel, to begin again. So breathe once more, softly, slowly. Let each exhale carry away a little of what you no longer need. Feel the air move, cool and kind, like a hand smoothing the folds of your mind. And as the wind stretches across the night, listen to it. How it never stays in one place, how it travels and fades. Let your thoughts follow it now. Let them drift further and further away. Do you remember the sound of summer nights when you were small? The hum of insects in the dark? The gentle rhythm of the world before you knew what endings were? There was a sweetness in the air, a scent of grass and dust and warm wind, and time felt endless, like a story that would never close. You didn't measure hours then. Days unfolded the way petals open, slowly, innocently, without purpose. Morning arrived like a gift. Night came not as an ending, but a lullaby. Every shadow was a mystery. Every small thing shimmered with importance. The way sunlight caught in the window pane, or the way a breeze lifted the curtain and whispered your name. Somewhere between those long afternoons and this quiet moment, the world began to move faster. You learned to count time, to chase it, to try and keep up. You learned that summers end, that laughter fades into distance, that even the most golden days grow dim at the edges. And yet, when you close your eyes now, can't you still feel it? That soft pulse of the past, the hum of a world untouched by hurry? The child you once were is not gone. They are simply resting within you, dreaming the same dreams in a quieter language. Time is strange that way. It does not take, it transforms. It folds moments into the fabric of who we are. Every joy, every loss, every fleeting second, they all remain like echoes moving gently through the corridors of your mind. When you remember them, you're not looking backward. You are touching something eternal, the living stream of impermanence. Each memory is a mirror, and in it you see how everything changes, and yet how nothing truly leaves. You have been many selves, and all of them still breathe quietly within you. They are not ghosts. They are the tender evidence that you have lived, and that you continue to live even now, in this still passing moment. Imagine a river. It moves endlessly, whispering against its banks, reflecting the moon in trembling fragments. You stand beside it, watching the surface shimmer, and for a moment, you feel certain you've seen this river before, but you haven't. Not truly. Heraclitus once said, "No one ever steps into the same river twice, for the water that once touched your feet has already drifted downstream, becoming something new, and you, too, have changed. By the time you return, your heart has learned something, forgotten something, softened in ways invisible but real. You are not the same, and neither is the world that holds you. The current is always moving, not as a thief, but as a teacher." The Buddha spoke of this too. He called it anicca, impermanence. Everything that arises must fade. Every breath, every thought, every heartbeat, every life, all of it flows as naturally as the river bends toward the sea. This is not sorrow. This is the world's way of being alive. The river's movement is not a loss. It is its very nature to move. Look again at the surface. Notice how it changes in every instant. The way light dances, how ripples collide, dissolve, reform. Now, imagine your life reflected there. Each moment flickers and passes. Each emotion rises and fades. Each identity blooms and dissolves like foam. You are the river, and you are also the one standing beside it. The witness and the flow are not separate. They are two faces of the same mystery. In the rush of time, we often try to build dams, plans, promises, memories, structures meant to hold life still. But the river only laughs. It slips around every barrier, finding new paths through stone and earth. Let it. Let it take what it needs to carry. The beauty of the river is not in its stillness, but in its motion. And the beauty of your life is not in holding on, but in flowing with what comes. Think of all the versions of yourself who have stood on the same shore. The child with wide eyes, the dreamer, the doubter, the one who hoped, the one who hurt. Each one has flowed forward, becoming the person who listens now. They are not gone. They are carried within you, like tributaries feeding a single stream. You cannot step into the same river twice, because both you and the river are alive. You meet each other in motion, and that is the miracle. So stand here, in the quiet of this thought. Feel the current of time brushing past your skin. You are part of it, not trapped in it, but belonging to it. And as you breathe, you can feel that flow moving through you, ancient, endless, kind. You do not need to hold on. The river will remember where to take you. There comes a moment when you look back and realize how many versions of yourself you've already been. Some of them still make you smile. Their laughter, their small triumphs, their wide-eyed hope. And some of them make you ache. Their mistakes, their clumsy attempts to understand love, the things they didn't yet know how to do right. But every version of you was doing their best with the light they had at the time. Can you forgive them for that? It's easy to hold ourselves to impossible standards, to believe we should have known more, been wiser, calmer, kinder. But forgiveness is a kind of wisdom too. It says, I accept that I was learning. It says, I was growing even when I stumbled. The river doesn't apologize for changing course. The seasons do not beg forgiveness for turning. And yet we, the children of rivers and seasons, so often scold ourselves for being different from who we once were. Maybe you've outgrown people you loved. Maybe you've let dreams drift away. Maybe you've changed your mind about who you thought you'd become. That's not failure. That's the movement of life itself. The self you were 10 years ago is a story still unfolding, a chapter that had to close so the next one could begin. Forgiving change means loosening your grip on the idea that you must remain the same. It's learning to say, that person was me too, and I honor them by continuing to grow. Think of the leaves outside your window. They fall not in shame, but in surrender. Their letting go is what allows the tree to rest, to prepare for spring again. So too must we let our old selves fall gently away, trusting that what remains will bloom when it's time. You don't have to fix the past. You only have to soften toward it. Let memory be a field where all your selves can meet. The joyful, the afraid, the lost, the brave, and simply rest together for a while. Imagine them now, sitting quietly within you, each one a glimmer of who you were becoming. None of them wrong, none of them wasted, just steps on the same path, leading here, to this moment of breath, of stillness, of understanding. You have changed, yes, and that's the proof that you're alive. Forgive the turning, thank the current that carried you here, and as you breathe, let every old version of yourself drift downstream with a blessing, not regret. You've been moving for so long, through years and choices, through moments of clarity and confusion, through the endless motion of becoming. And here you are, standing in the quiet flow of all that has been. The river still moves beneath you, cool and patient, carrying the memory of every raindrop, every leaf, every reflection that ever touched its surface. And it carries you too. You don't have to steer anymore. You don't have to struggle to stay afloat. You are carried. You can rest. There is a peace that comes when you stop resisting the current. The body loosens, the mind softens, and you realize you were never separate from the flow at all. The river was never something you stood beside. It was always moving through you. Every thought, every breath, every heartbeat, a ripple in the same vast stream. Close your eyes and feel that movement. Imagine it flowing through your veins, a gentle pulse of time and tenderness. The water doesn't ask you to do anything. It simply invites you to be. You are not behind. You are not ahead. You are exactly where the river wants you to be. Notice how the current doesn't rush. It knows its way, and it trusts the shape of the earth that guides it. Can you trust that too? That there is a shape beneath your life, carving its quiet path, even when you can't see where it leads. Every drop finds its place. Every turn brings new light. There's nothing to fix, nothing to fight. The current will carry you home. Let yourself drift. Let the thought of effort dissolve. You don't need to reach the shore tonight. You are already inside the stillness you are seeking. You are carried. You can rest. Say it gently to yourself, not as a command, but as a remembering. You are carried. You can rest. The river holds you now in its endless shimmering arms. And as you listen to its quiet song, feel your edges blur, your mind lighten, your body begin to drift toward sleep, toward peace, toward the soft center of impermanence itself. Hold out your hand for a moment. Notice how naturally it wants to close, fingers curling in, palm tightening, the quiet instinct to grasp, to keep. This is what we do, isn't it? We hold people, memories, expectations, the shape of who we think we are. We believe that by holding, we can preserve something. That if we clutch it tightly enough, it will stay. But the tighter the grip, the more it aches. And in time, even the most precious things begin to slip through our fingers, not because we failed, but because everything alive is meant to move. There is a tenderness in the act of holding. To hold is human. It comes from love, from care, from the wish not to lose. But love, when bound by fear, begins to harden. What once felt like warmth becomes pressure. The need to control, to keep safe, to possess. The Buddha once taught that attachment is the root of suffering. But attachment at its heart is not evil. It is simply misplaced love. Love that forgets to trust the flow of life. We mistake keeping for caring, as if love were a thing to be protected from change. Yet love, real love, is the opposite. It asks to be given away again and again. Imagine now your hand still closed, the muscles working quietly, the strain beneath the skin. Now slowly, gently, let the hand open. Feel the air slip between your fingers. That small release, that's freedom. It's not loss, it's grace. Letting go is not the end of love. It's the purification of love. The moment it becomes lighter, more honest, more alive. When you open your hand, what you hold doesn't disappear. It simply finds its own path. It drifts like a seed on the wind, perhaps to bloom elsewhere, in a way you'll never see. And that too is beautiful. You've let go many times before, though you might not have noticed. Every breath you exhale is a letting go. Every night you fall asleep, you surrender the need to think, to act, to be in control. And every morning, life returns, not because you forced it, but because you made room for it to return. To release is to trust that nothing true is ever lost. The love that matters does not vanish when you open your hand. It remains transformed, a softer current moving through you, quietly shaping the person you're still becoming. So much of the world is held in tension. We grip at joy, at time, at each other, as if the act of holding could slow the turning of the earth. But love is not meant to be a cage. It's meant to be a wind that moves through open spaces, a river that knows how to flow, a tide that always returns. You don't have to release everything at once. Just notice what is asking to be softened. A thought, a fear, a person you no longer need to chase. Let them drift a little further from the center of your hand. The heart does not shrink when it opens. It expands. And as you sit with this, as the waves breathe in and out around you, remember, you are not losing. You are learning how to let love move freely again. How to hold without closing. How to care without clinging. There's a certain sadness that arrives when we let something go. It comes quietly, like twilight, filling the air with a pale kind of beauty. This sadness is not an enemy. It's the echo of love, the sound a heart makes when it recognizes impermanence. Grief is not a punishment for caring. It's proof that you have touched something worth missing. It means you have lived deeply, that your heart has opened itself to the movement of life, and life, being what it is, has moved on. When you love something, a person, a moment, a season, you begin to weave yourself into it. You become part of its rhythm, its scent, its sound, its warmth. And when it changes, some part of you must change too. That's why loss feels so personal. It's not only what leaves us, it's what we become in the space that's left behind. But listen closely. In that hollow, in that ache, there is a strange kind of light. Because grief, when met gently, becomes a form of tenderness, a reminder that the heart can stretch and still not break. Let yourself feel it, the quiet sorrow that lingers after goodbyes, the bittersweet pull of memory, the ache of something beautiful that cannot return. This is not weakness, it's the body remembering love. The world moves in cycles of holding and release, of birth and fading, of laughter and silence. To grieve is to honor that rhythm, to bow to the truth that nothing stays, and to love anyway. There's a grace in that kind of courage, to look at what is leaving and whisper, "Thank you for coming. I will love you as you go." The pain you feel now is not forever. It will soften, becoming something gentler, a quiet ache that hums beneath the surface, like the low tone of a cello in a darkened room. That hum will follow you, not to haunt you, but to remind you that love once lived here. And over time, you'll realize that grief has been changing shape, becoming gratitude. Because everything you lose leaves something behind, a lesson, a tenderness, a widening of your capacity to feel. So if there's sorrow in you now, don't rush to silence it. Let it breathe. Let it have its own rhythm, its own small voice in the night. Sit beside it, The way you would sit beside a friend who's weeping. You don't have to fix it, you only have to stay. Grief is the echo of love, and echoes, though they fade, prove that something beautiful was once here, and that it mattered. You can carry that beauty forward without the weight. You can let the ache dissolve into gentleness. You can let love become space. When the heart learns to hold sorrow tenderly, it discovers that sadness and beauty were never separate things. They are two names for the same grace, the grace of having felt at all. So breathe now. Let the tide of grief move through you, washing what it must, leaving only stillness behind. And as the wind sighs along the shore, remember, you are not broken for feeling this way. You are alive. And that is a beautiful kind of sorrow. Imagine a wide, open sky stretching above you, soft gray, endless, alive. This is the sky of your awareness. It does not judge the weather that moves through it. It simply allows. Now, see your thoughts as the clouds. Some are bright and thin, drifting lazily across the horizon. Some are darker, heavy, uncertain, filled with the promise of rain. Each one has its own shape, its own moment, its own quiet reason for being. And like clouds, none of them stay. You may notice a thought forming now. Maybe it's about something undone, something from the past, or a worry waiting in tomorrow. Watch it appear, a small wisp at first. Then let it drift across the sky of your mind. You don't need to push it away. You don't need to chase it. It knows how to move on its own. Your task is simple. Watch. Be the sky, not the cloud. When another thought arrives, perhaps a memory or an emotion that feels too sharp to hold, let it float too. It might expand for a while, shadowing your light. But even the darkest clouds eventually move on. They cannot help but change. Every cloud is temporary. Every feeling, every story, every name is weather passing through the same vast openness. Even when the sky is full, when there seems to be no blue left at all, remember this. Above the clouds, it is always clear, always still, always infinite. That clarity is you. It has never left. It is simply waiting behind the motion, patient and bright. Take a slow breath. Imagine the air moving gently through you, like wind moving across open fields. With each exhale, another cloud releases its form, dissolving into mist. You can feel your mind growing lighter, your body softer, as if the weight of the day was slowly lifting away. Now, picture the sky widening, clearing at its edges. Light returns, not bright but tender. The kind of light that comes after rain, when everything glows a little more because it has been washed clean. You might still see a few clouds wandering, but they no longer concern you. They are part of the view, not a problem to solve. Their passing is simply the sky breathing. Notice how peace doesn't mean the sky is empty. It means the sky is free to hold everything. And that's what you're learning now. That you can hold it all. The joy, the fear, the memory, the uncertainty. And still be vast enough to stay calm. Let that calm widen in you. Let it fill the spaces behind your eyes, the corners of your chest, the quiet spaces between breaths. You are the sky. Your thoughts are clouds. You don't have to stop them. You only have to let them move. Look up in your mind and see what remains when everything has drifted on. The open air, the endless quiet, the pure, unbroken blue. That is you. The awareness that watches, the silence that stays. And as this moment dissolves into the next, let a final whisper echo gently through you. All clouds pass, all storms end, and the sky always remains. Night has arrived, quietly, faithfully, like a friend who never needs to be announced. It doesn't rush in, it simply unfolds, spreading its calm through every open window, through every restless heart. The world exhales, and what remains is darkness, deep, soft, patient. Many people fear the dark. They see it as emptiness, as absence, as something to fill with light. But darkness isn't the enemy of light. It is its cradle. It's the quiet space that holds everything together. The pause that makes music possible. The stillness that lets light be seen. If you listen closely now, you can hear the language of the night. It speaks not in words, but in rhythms. The steady breath of the earth resting, the soft beat of your own heart echoing in the room. This is the hour when everything that was rushing finally slows. What felt urgent in the day now seems gentle, almost distant. Darkness is not empty. It is full. Full of beginnings, of dreams, of hidden growth. Seeds grow in darkness. Rest happens in darkness. Even the stars are born from it. Think of the night not as something that closes the day, but as something that opens the soul. When the world dims, the outer light fades, and the inner one begins to glow. It's a softer light, not one of brilliance, but of depth. It doesn't dazzle, it understands. The night is a teacher, and its lesson is surrender. It teaches through silence, through shadow, through the simple truth that not everything needs to be seen to be real. When the eyes can no longer grasp what's around them, the heart begins to see differently, not by sight, but by trust. Let the dark hold you for a while. Feel how it doesn't demand anything. It asks nothing of you. No performance, no perfection, just your presence. It wraps around you, not to hide, but to keep you. Like the curve of an arm around a tired body, the night is an embrace. It holds all things, the joy, the sorrow, the forgotten, the unfinished. It takes them gently, so you don't have to. The night forgives you for not being complete. It whispers, you can rest now. And in that whisper is a truth the day often forgets. That rest is not a reward, it's a right. Let this darkness be your comfort, not your fear. Let it remind you that life is not only movement, but also the grace of stopping. That what you cannot see is still unfolding, quietly, perfectly, in its own rhythm. The night teaches us how to be still, how to listen without searching, how to rest without running, how to trust the unseen. And as you lie here, cradled in its quiet arms, remember, you are not lost in the dark. You are being held by it. If you listen closely enough, you can feel that the earth is breathing. It moves with you, a vast rhythm unfolding beneath the surface of everything. The tide drawing in, the tide drifting out. A pulse so steady, so immense, that it becomes the hidden metronome of all life. Each moment you inhale, the earth exhales. Each time you release a breath, it answers back. A perfect symmetry of giving and receiving. The wind through the trees, the swell of the ocean, the hush between waves. They are all the same breath, the same great exhalation of being. We forget sometimes that we are not separate from this rhythm. We build our days around clocks and calendars, around noise and deadlines, until we begin to believe we control time. But our bodies remember the truth. They carry the ancient rhythm of the planet within them. Your heartbeat is the echo of Earth's pulse. Your breath is the whisper of its wind. When night falls, the world slows to its natural tempo again. Plants close their petals. Animals nestle into rest. Even the oceans quiet their storms. It's as if everything agrees. Now is the hour of stillness. And within that stillness, your body begins to remember how to be quiet too. Not the stillness of absence, but the stillness of harmony, of being in sync with something vast and kind. Feel your own breath now. Notice how it moves, how it mirrors the rise and fall of the night outside. There is no rush in it, no need to measure or control. The body knows what to do. It has known since the beginning. Breathe in, as the trees breathe in darkness, turning it into life. Breathe out, as the stars seem to shimmer just a little softer, as if exhaling too. You are not breathing alone. The entire planet breathes with you. Its oceans, its forests, its creatures, every pulse, every flutter, part of the same quiet cycle. This is what peace feels like. Not silence, but rhythm. Not emptiness, but connection. You are not apart from the earth. You are part of its slow turning, its deep rest, its gentle heartbeat beneath layers of soil and time. Let yourself fall into that rhythm now. Let the outer noise dissolve until all that remains is the quiet music of breath. You don't have to count the hours, or watch the clock, or chase the next moment. The earth is already keeping time for you, and it will carry you just as it always has. Steady, patient, alive. Everything sleeps. The ocean, once restless with light and motion, now lies in a hush of silver. Its waves move slower, as though even water knows the meaning of rest. Beneath the surface, the creatures of the sea drift in the dark, their movements gentle and unhurried, their hearts keeping time with the quiet pulse of the deep. Even the tides, which never truly stop, seem softer now. The moon guiding them with a touch so light it feels almost like a whisper. The sea breathes in and the sea breathes out, and between those breaths, the world sleeps. In the forests, the trees are sleeping too. Their leaves, once trembling with sunlit chatter, now rest still under the dark sky. Sap moves through their trunks like dreams, slow, nourishing, unseen. They do not strive. They do not ask when the dawn will come. They simply trust the night to hold them. And under their roots, the soil sleeps as well. Millions of tiny lives pausing, breathing in sync with the cool earth. The world beneath your feet is resting in its own deep heartbeat. Even the sand sleeps, those endless grains that once burned in daylight, now cool and calm, each one shining faintly in the moonlight. They too know how to rest, to lie still, to be part of something greater than themselves. Look upward now. The stars, scattered across the night, seem alive. But even they, in their quiet fire, are sleeping. Their light travels through centuries of silence, slow as breath. They do not rush to reach you. They simply shine, content to be. And so the whole universe rests. Every galaxy turning slowly, every atom vibrating gently in its own rhythm of peace. Sleep is not just for the body. It is the rhythm of existence itself, the great pause between heartbeats, the hush that allows creation to begin again. Think of this. If even the stars can rest, why not you? The same energy that spins them moves quietly through you too. When you close your eyes, You join in that universal rest, the vast communion of everything that breathes, everything that simply is. Everything sleeps. The mountains cradle their own shadows. The rivers dream of clouds. Even the wind lies down for a while, resting against the open fields. Nothing in nature resists rest. Nothing feels guilty for stopping. Only we humans forget. We hurry through hours. We measure worth by motion. We fear the silence that waits in stillness. But listen now. The world is showing you how to rest. It is teaching you the language of quiet. All you have to do is remember that you belong to this rhythm, that you, too, are made of the same dust, the same water, the same breath as everything that sleeps. So let yourself be part of it. Let the ocean rock you. Let the trees shelter you. Let the stars keep watch as you close your eyes. The whole world is sleeping, and it has made room for you too. There is a moment, soft, almost invisible, when wakefulness loosens its hold and something gentler begins to take its place. It happens quietly, like a tide turning, like a door opening inward without a sound. You are not asleep yet, but the world of waking has already begun to fade. Thoughts lose their edges, words drift apart from meaning, and the air itself feels thicker, slower, as if everything around you were exhaling at once. This is the threshold, the in-between, the space where the mind stops reaching and begins to float. Here, the body knows what to do. It begins to slow its rhythm, breathing softer, longer, deeper. Each exhale becomes a small surrender, each inhale a quiet promise to rest. Let the breath guide you now. Follow it as it moves like a thread, weaving you gently into the fabric of night. In and out, in and out. Not forced, not measured, just a rhythm that belongs to you, ancient and effortless. As your breath slows, so does thought. Ideas that once pressed against the edges of your mind begin to fade like ink in water. They don't vanish, they dissolve. You may still feel them, traces of concern, of memory, of plan, but they no longer demand answers. They are clouds moving through the last light of day. In this space, even identity begins to soften. You are not the thinker, not the doer, not the one who must keep everything together. You are simply awareness, weightless, formless, watching. This is the first drift toward dream, not the dream itself, but the path that leads there. A silver bridge across the quiet water of the mind. Each breath takes you one step further. Each exhale loosens the thread of control. The world around you becomes fluid now. Sounds blur, shapes fade. Time folds in on itself like a curtain closing. What remains is only sensation. The warmth of your skin, the slow pulse beneath your ribs, the feeling of sinking gently into the bed beneath you. This is not falling, it's returning to something older than thought, older than fear. It is the mind remembering what it means to rest without reason, without story. Let the breath grow lighter still. Imagine it turning to mist, rising and vanishing into the air. The boundaries of the body begin to blur. You are both here and not here, drifting between worlds. This is the threshold, the doorway between thought and dream. And all it asks of you is trust. Let yourself lean into it, the way a wave leans into the sea. You don't need to cross it. It will carry you. There is a particular tenderness to this hour, a hush that settles not only over the room, but over the spaces inside you that spend the day remaining alert. You have kept watch long enough. you have considered, handled, remembered, and repaired. Now your hands can be empty. Now your mind can be light. Sleep begins as a small letting go, a loosening at the edges of your awareness. It is not an off switch, not a vanishing act. It is more like a slow tilt, a gentle leaning into something that has always known how to hold you. If wakefulness is standing, sleep is leaning into an embrace you cannot see but can feel. We often mistake this leaning for danger. The body knows the sensation of falling and prepares to catch itself, to tense, to grab hold of something solid. But the fall into sleep is different. It is not the sudden drop of fear. It is the slow descent of trust. It is the kind of falling you knew as a child, when your head nodded and your weight drifted, and someone lifted a blanket to your chin and kissed your brow without waking you. Let us practice trusting the fall gently, step by step. First, allow the breath to become your guide rope. Don't deepen it on purpose. Just notice it, as if you were watching a tide arrive and recede over a stretch of moonlit sand. In, your body receives. Out, your body releases. Receiving, releasing. Nothing to fix, nothing to optimize. Each exhale is a small surrender. Each inhale, a quiet promise that the world keeps turning even as you let go. Now, bring attention to the weight of your body. Notice how gravity invites you downward. The mattress, the pillow, the blanket. Each one becomes a shoreline your body is washing onto. Let the brow smooth. Let the eyes fall heavy in their sockets. Let the tongue unclasp from the roof of the mouth, and the jaw release as if a silver thread were cut. The shoulders are no longer gatekeepers. They can drop like guards, relieved at last. Arms lengthen by a breath, hands open without fanfare, hips rest deeper, knees unhook, ankles soften. Even the soles of your feet stop listening for tomorrow. If a worry rises now, as worries sometimes do, welcome it like a bird that pauses on a branch and soon lifts away. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to cage it. You do not need to convince it to sing a different song. Let it perch. Let it fly. The sky behind it remains your own. There may be a sensation like stepping off a small ledge in the dark, a moment of weightlessness as thought loosens its grip. This too is part of the lesson. Trust that something below is softer than fear imagines. Trust that air becomes water, that water becomes arms, that arms become warmth. You are not falling out of the world. You are falling into it, into the part of the world that knows how to carry what you cannot carry awake. Remember the ways the living world surrenders. Leaves let go into autumn air. Snow settles onto fields without argument. The sea folds itself along the shore each night and calls that act tide. Nothing in nature apologizes for resting. Nothing demands permission to be held. You are made of that same wisdom. You are allowed to stop. If the mind asks, but who will hold me if I let go? Answer with the simplest truth. Your breath will, your body will, the night will. This is not a metaphor, but a practice. Feel the bed rising to meet your weight with every exhale. Feel the air finding its way in and out without being managed. Feel the presence of the dark, not empty, but generous, like a gentle current moving beneath everything. Now imagine yourself on a quiet hillside under a moon that has nothing to prove. The grass is warm from the memory of day. You are lying back, and the slope is a palm, and the palm is the night. You loosen one thought. It rolls away like a pebble. You loosen another. It becomes a star, you do not need to name. Soon, there is only breath and the faint sense of drifting, as if you were a small boat untying itself from the dock. This is trusting the fall, allowing gravity to be a kindness, allowing the unseen to be sufficient, allowing yourself to be carried by the same mystery that moves oceans and closes the eyes of every creature at dusk. You are not failing by letting go. You are fulfilling an ancient agreement. What wakes must rest. What holds must be held. So fall, not away from yourself, but back into yourself, into the wide room where thought grows quiet and the body remembers home. You are caught. You are kept. You are safe. Let the room become a shoreline of sound, not loud, barely present, a quiet that isn't empty but wide. Listen closely, not to any one noise, but to the space that holds them all. There's the faintest hum, maybe the room, maybe the night itself, and beneath it, the easy rhythm of your breath. Between inhale and exhale, a pause so small you might miss it. That pause is a doorway. Step through. Thoughts arrive as they will. A flicker of memory, a thread of conversation, a plan for tomorrow. Let each one float into the soundscape. If it has edges, let the edges soften. If it has weight, let the weight be carried by the air. You don't need to push them away. Invite them to dissolve. Imagine each thought as a tone, held gently until it fades. A single idea appears, bright for a moment, then grows thinner, longer, lighter, until it becomes part of the background, like a bell that remembers its own silence. Notice how sound can cradle a thought. When a worry comes, let it rest on the surface of the tone. It can lie there like a feather on water until the ripple carries it outward, outward, outward. And then it is simply distance. The mind loves to narrate. Tonight, let the narration become music without words. A sentence begins, and instead of finishing it, you let the syllables loosen. You let the vowels lengthen. You let meaning spill back into melody. What remains is texture, a velvet blur of almost language, soft as fog. Turn your attention to the edges of hearing. Listen for what is almost too quiet to notice. The way breath brushes the back of the throat. The way the blanket moves a grain of air when your chest rises. The smallest creak of wood settling into night. These are not interruptions. They are threads. They stitch the world together while you rest. If a thought tugs at you, let it pass through these threads, weaving itself into the hush. It does not need to be solved. It only needs to be held by something larger than itself. Now imagine the room becoming larger by a few degrees of softness. The ceiling lifts a little. The walls lean outward as if to give you space. Your name, your roles, your lists, all of them fade to the edges, becoming scenery instead of script. At the center is only breath and sound, sound and breath, the simplest duet. You can picture a lake at night, no wind, no ripples, just a dark mirror that holds the moon without effort. Your mind is that lake. Thoughts touch the surface and are reflected, then glide away without leaving a mark. There is no need to follow them. You already know where they go, toward quiet. Let the senses blur gently. Shapes soften behind closed eyes. Time loosens its weave. Even the idea of you becomes porous, as if your outline were drawn in dusk, and the dusk is deepening. When a new thought appears, meet it with kindness. You may drift here. When it grows faint, whisper, "Thank you." When it dissolves completely, notice how nothing needs to replace it. The space it leaves is a kind of sweetness. Now, allow the sound itself to thin. Imagine turning a dimmer, not to darkness, but to softer. Every frequency becomes gentler, as if wrapped in cloth. You hear less and feel more. The warmth along your cheek, the weight along your ribs, the tender gravity tugging your limbs toward rest. There is a final thought somewhere, small and harmless, like a boat untying its rope. You watch it drift. It becomes a speck, then a point, then nothing at all. What remains is breath. And even breath is barely sound now. More suggestion than note, more glow than light. Let the mind drift. Let it belong to the night. Let it be the shore and the sea, the listener and the lullaby. You are resting in a field of gentle sound. There is nowhere else to be. You can loosen, you can lean, you can fall, and the falling is simply floating. Soon, there will be only the thinnest thread connecting you to waking, a silver filament of awareness, light as breath. It will fade when it's ready. You do not have to help it. Your body is not a statue. It is a living river. Even now, as you lie still, it is changing, quietly, precisely, kindly, in ways you cannot feel. Cells are being repaired and replaced. Tiny messengers travel through your blood with instructions written in light. Proteins fold, unfold, refold, like origami that learns from its own creases. The body is a workshop of renewal, guided by an intelligence older than thought. Consider your skin, the boundary you think of as you. It is not fixed. It is a field. The outermost cells are drifting toward their gentle farewell, making way for new ones rising from beneath. Every day, you become a little different at the surface. Smoother here, softer there. A slow tide of hello and goodbye that needs no permission. You do not force this. You simply live. And the body keeps its quiet promise to renew. Inside, your blood is a moving night sky. Red cells carry breath like lanterns, delivering oxygen to places you will never see, gathering what is no longer needed and letting it go. White cells wander like thoughtful guardians, listening for trouble and answering with care. Platelets drift and wait, ready to seal a small hurt before you even know it happened. 1,000 kindnesses occur each minute without fanfare, without thanks. Your bones, too, are not stone. They are living forests, being taken down and rebuilt grain by grain. Old matter is reabsorbed, new lattice is laid. Strength is not rigidity. It is adaptation, the body's way of saying, I'm listening. Even the heart learns, even the brain rewrites its maps, softening paths you no longer walk, drawing new lines where curiosity leads. All of this is biology, yes, but it is also philosophy wearing a white coat. Impermanence is not merely an idea, it is an anatomy. The body proves it with every breath, in with what is needed, out with what is finished. You are not failing by changing. You are fulfilling your nature. If fear rises when you think of change, let the body answer it. It has been changing since before you had a name. As an infant, everything grew. As a child, everything reorganized. As an adult, everything refines, repairs, replaces. The story is the same, only the chapters differ. What seems like loss is often evolution, and what seems like the end of a pattern is the beginning of a better one. You might carry tenderness in your shoulders or jaw, tiredness behind your eyes, a worry in your belly that thinks itself permanent. Place a hand lightly where the feeling lives. Say to it gently, you are allowed to change, not to disappear on command, but to move, to shift, to soften. The way a knot in wood becomes part of the grain, beautiful because it belongs to the whole. Now, breathe in as if the entire body were porous. On the inhale, imagine the cells receiving what they need. Oxygen, rest, permission. On the exhale, feel the old patterns loosening, tiny muscles unclasping, old stories thinning like mist. No drama, no battle, just the river doing what rivers do. Impermanence becomes comfort when we notice its rhythm is renewal. You are not the same as yesterday, and that is why healing is possible. You are not the same as an hour ago, and that is why rest can change everything. Trust this living workshop. Trust the quiet workers, the invisible carpenters and gardeners within. While you sleep, they will continue. Mending, pruning, building, releasing. You do not have to supervise. You do not have to understand the blueprint. You only need to offer what the body asks for now. A little warmth, a little stillness, a kind breath, moving in and out like a tide. Breath is the smallest story of a life. It begins, it opens, it ripens, and it ends. And then another begins. Every inhale is a birth, every exhale a soft and necessary goodbye. In this simple rhythm, the body teaches impermanence without a single word. Let us sit inside one breath and notice its seasons. Inhale, a gathering. Air touches the tip of your nose, cool as morning. It slides along the back of the throat, a river finding its bed, filling the chest not from the top, but from the low, quiet places. Ribs widen like shutters. The heart receives a little more room, and even the spine seems to remember its length. This is arrival, not dramatic, simply complete. A pause. The briefest summer. The breath lingers, suspended, a ripe moment that does not ask for more. Here, time loosens. You feel the body's trust. It knows what to do next. Exhale, a release. Warmth travels outward, and with it, the weight of what is finished. The belly softens. The chest descends like a tide returning to sea. This is not loss, is the intelligence of letting go. Another pause. Winter's still field. The body is empty enough to be filled again. In that emptiness, there is no urgency, only readiness. Now allow the breaths to stack gently, one upon another, like waves that never need to reach a shore. Let them find a tender count, unforced and kind. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gathering. Hold for 2. 1, 2. Ripening. Exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Releasing. Rest for 2. 1, 2. Empty and open. Repeat. If it feels right, 3 or 4 cycles. Not to perfect anything, but to listen more closely to what was already happening without you. Notice how each breath arrives new. You cannot reuse an inhale, cannot borrow tomorrow's exhale. The body refuses to cling. It knows that freshness is the only way to live. Even your thoughts begin to follow this wisdom. They rise, they shine, they fall away. If a worry appears, give it one breath's worth of hospitality. Let it sit in the inhale, soften in the pause, ride the exhale out like a leaf released to water. By the time the next breath arrives, the worry is smaller, a shape returning to the background. Feel how the breath is both intimate and vast. It is yours, yet it is shared with trees, oceans, and night air. You receive what the world offers. You return what the world can use. In In this exchange is the quiet ethics of being alive. Breathe now without counting. Let the cycle become so gentle it almost escapes notice. The lungs continue their ancient work, the heart leans into its steady dance, and the nervous system sinks into the lullaby of repetition. One more inhale like dawn behind closed eyes. One more exhale like evening settling across a field. A life is this, and this, and this. Beginnings and endings, endlessly kind. Trust the cycle. Let each breath be a small permission to rest. A reminder that change is not a threat, but a rhythm, and that you are already moving with it, beautifully, without effort. Place one hand where your breath is easiest to feel. The chest, the belly, or the space just beneath your ribs. Let palm grow warm and curious. You are listening now, not with ears, but with presence. The body speaks in tides and textures, pressure and release, ache and ease, in tiny stories of warmth, coolness, tingling, softness. All of it is language. Begin by noticing three simple things. The weight that supports you, the shape your breath is drawing from the inside, and the temperature of your skin where your hand rests. Without fixing anything, allow gratitude to rise like light from water. This is the vessel that carried you through the day. Every step, every reach, every turning toward and away. It worked, often without thanks. Whisper inward. This body is not permanent, yet it carries you gently. Let the sentence move through your cells as if wind were moving through leaves. Not permanent, which means forgiven for changing. Carries you gently, which means worthy of kindness now. If there is discomfort, don't turn away. Invite it closer, as you would a friend who has something important to say. Ask, what are you trying to protect? Perhaps the shoulders are lifting because they have been guarding your heart. Perhaps the jaw is holding an unspoken sentence. Perhaps the belly is clenching around a worry it promised to keep safe. Thank each place for its effort. Then offer it an option it may have forgotten. You can rest. On an inhale, imagine sending breath to the place that speaks. On the exhale, imagine a small door opening there, not to push anything out, but to let a little night breeze pass through. The body softens when it is believed. It loosens when it is listened to. Now sweep your attention gently from crown to toes, like starlight traveling a quiet road. At the brow, smoothness. At the eyes, heaviness that feels honest. At the mouth, lips unsealing, tongue resting in its cradle. At the throat, space for unsent words to dissolve like sugar in warm tea. Across the chest, breath's lantern rising and falling. At the heart, a patient drum, imperfect and brave. Down the ribs and belly, shoreline, tide, shoreline. Hips, old doors creaking open on oiled hinges. Legs, rivers returning to the sea of the mattress. Feet, small animals settling into their burrows. Everywhere you look with kindness, the body answers, I hear you. This conversation requires no eloquence, only trust. If memories arrive of how your body has changed, of the ways it has surprised you, challenged you, healed you, let gratitude widen to hold them. Change did not make the body your enemy. Change is the proof that it remains alive. Another whisper, almost a prayer. This body is not permanent, yet it carries you gently. Feel how the words themselves are a soft hand, smoothing the day. Soon the body will take over the work of night, repairing, balancing, arranging its quiet garden. You don't have to manage the process. Your task is humbler, sweeter, to keep listening long enough for trust to unfold. Rest your hand a moment longer, then let it settle by your side. The message has been received. The body knows you are here with it, not demanding, not judging, simply staying. And in that staying, a door opens into sleep, into ease, into the gentle truth that you and this changing body are learning the same lesson. To be held by a night that forgives everything. Memory doesn't leave all at once. It loosens like light at the edges of a curtain, like handwriting that fades where fingers have turned the page too many times. This softening is not betrayal. It is how time learns to hold what the heart cannot carry forever. There are moments your mind can still summon in perfect color. The grain of a wooden table, a voice that tilted upward when it laughed, the scent of rain rising from pavement in summer. And then there are other moments that return with their corners rounded, faces like petals smudged with dew, details drifting just beyond reach. You stretch toward them and touch only air. At first, that emptiness can feel like loss, but listen closely. It is also mercy. The mind is a river, not an archive. It changes the things it loves in order to keep loving them. What remains is not the measurement of events, but the music, the ways they changed your cadence, taught your hands a new tenderness, opened a door in you that is still open now. The softening of edges lets the music play without the weight of every note. Sometimes a sharp memory keeps cutting. It glints whenever you turn it in your thoughts. Too bright, too clear, too ready to wound. In time, the edge dulls. The image blurs just enough for you to hold it. This is time practicing its quiet medicine, sanding the surface until the story is smooth against your palms, so you can carry it as a talisman instead of a blade. You may worry that forgetting is a kind of disloyalty, that if you let the details fade, you will lose the people, the places, the loves that made you. But forgetting does not erase what matters. It finds it. Like a sculptor removing stone to reveal the figure within, time chips away at what is not essential, until what remains is the shape of meaning. No longer the exact door, the exact street, the exact September, but the doorway you walked through, the path you chose, the season your heart first learned a language it still speaks. Think of winter sunlight falling on old photographs. They curl a little at the corners. The ink thins where memory has been touched the most. Yet the feeling is stronger than ever. A warmth not bound to paper. A presence not bound to the precise angle of a smile. This is how memory becomes wisdom. Less picture, more pulse. If a part of you fears the blur, place a hand over your heart and breathe. Whisper, I can remember by feeling. Notice how the body responds, how the chest loosens, how the breath lengthens, as if a crowded room inside you were opening its windows. You do not have to recite the past to honor it. You only have to let it keep teaching you in the language of tenderness. Some memories will always stay crisp. They are the stars that refuse to dim. But most will soften as rain softens soil, as time softens anger into understanding, as grief softens into gratitude. The edges blur so the heart can hold more. Let what needs to fade, fade. Let what needs to stay, stay. You are not losing what is true. You are learning to carry it lightly. And in this lightness, there is room for sleep, for breath, for the next gentle morning. While you sleep, The mind becomes a quiet library after hours. No patrons, no whispers, no hurried footsteps. Only the patient work of caretakers moving through the stacks, reshelving, labeling, dusting the spines of the day. Dreams are those caretakers, drifting from shelf to shelf with lanterns of imagery, deciding what to keep close, what to place higher, what to retire to the archive of things learned and let go. A detail from morning, the line of sunlight on a mug, slides next to the memory of a friend's laughter. A worry loses its sharp folder and returns with rounded corners. Loose papers become bound. Some chapters are shortened, some are expanded with notes in the margins, and the mind, relieved, settles deeper into quiet. Dreams do not always tell the truth, as waking life demands it. They tell another kind of truth, a symbolic one, where feeling takes the lead and fact follows as best it can. A hallway becomes a river. Your old classroom opens into a forest. You meet a stranger who speaks with your mother's kindness. Nothing is literal, and yet everything is precise. The heart speaks in metaphors, and dreams are its fluent language. In this language, emotion finds its balance. The mind revisits what was too bright, too loud, too sudden, and lets it be recolored in softer tones. Fear is walked through, as one walks a familiar neighborhood at dusk, learning that the shadows are only trees, the echo only footsteps settling into rhythm. Joy is braided with gratitude so that it can last longer than the moment that sparked it. Loss is carried to a room with open windows, where the air is gentle and the chair is comfortable, and the memory can sit down. Sometimes dreams bring odd pairings. Yesterday's task tied to a childhood song, a present worry stitched to a place you visited years ago. This is not confusion. This is sorting. The mind tests where things belong, placing one card beside another until a pattern appears. What felt unrelated begins to rhyme. Meaning, shy during daylight steps out from the wings. You may not remember the dream, but you will feel its work in the morning. A thought that once insisted now seems less urgent. A feeling that once tangled now lies smooth. A decision that felt heavy now lifts with the lightness of knowing. The archive is clearer. The shelves are aligned. You move through the day with a little more room inside. When the dream is tender, let it be tender. When it is strange, let it be strange. Its purpose is not to report, but to repair. Not to entertain, but to organize. You don't need to decode every symbol. Trust that while you rest, the mind is doing what minds do best, finding order in the living music of your days. Breathe now and imagine the caretakers closing their lanterns. The stacks glow with quiet completeness. Somewhere within, a final book finds its home with a soft, certain sound. Everything is where it needs to be for now. And what is not yet needed will wait, like a gentle promise on a patient shelf. There is a medicine without taste or color, without label or prescription. It arrives when words step back, when even music bows and leaves the room. That medicine is silence. Silence is not the absence of life. It is life listening to itself. In silence, the body hears the faintest messages. The way a muscle asks for rest. The way breath chooses its own length. The way the heart drums not to be noticed, but to be trusted. In silence, the mind lays down its tools. It stops measuring, comparing, rehearsing. It leans its head on the shoulder of the moment and closes its eyes. We are not taught to value this. We are taught to fill, to answer, to continue. But the nervous system repairs itself in quiet the way skin mends beneath a bandage. It does not need instructions. It needs room. Give it now. Let every sound in the room drift to the edges like boats moving to a harbor at dusk. You are not pushing anything away. You are making space for what is already gentle to become visible. If a thought arrives, greet it softly. You may rest here without speaking. If an emotion rises, offer it a chair. You don't need to explain yourself tonight. Silence is generous. It does not interrogate. It keeps company with whatever comes. The way a field keeps company with wind. Notice the tiny, unremarkable sensations. The warmth where the blanket touches your shoulder. The way the air cools at the tip of your nose on the inhale. The soft heaviness behind the eyes. These are signposts on the road to healing. They say, you have arrived at enough. There is a common fear that silence will reveal something unbearable. But silence reveals what is ready to be held. It does not pry. It opens the door slowly, and if you wish, you can stand at the threshold and simply breathe. What is not ready remains in the next room, waiting kindly for another night. Think of silence as a wide pool of dark water. You do not need to dive. It is enough to sit at the edge and watch the surface grow smooth. Soon you will see the reflection of a calmer sky. If gratitude wants to speak, let it whisper. Thank you, body, for staying. Thank you, breath, for returning. Thank you, heart, for your patient rhythm. Then let even gratitude turn to quiet. Healing doesn't happen because we name it. It happens because we stop interrupting what knows how to mend. Now, we will rest inside a pocket of silence together. No counting, no goal, only being. The smallest work and the greatest. Let your jaw slacken. Let the tongue be heavy. Let the shoulders drop into the bed's open hands. Imagine every cell dimming its lights, every room in the house of you preparing for night. Nothing needs to be remembered right now. Nothing needs to be solved. Silence will keep it all safe until morning. In the Buddhist tradition, the word anicca means impermanence. The simple observation that everything that appears also changes. It doesn't require belief. It's the way breath moves, the way seasons turn, the way thoughts rise and fade on their own. To see anicca is to see life honestly, without insisting that it stay as we wish. You already know this truth in your body. Every inhale becomes an exhale. Every heartbeat arrives, completes its circle, and gives way to the next. Cells repair, replace, renew. Nothing stands still. And because nothing stands still, growth and healing are possible. Impermanence is not a threat. It is the condition for everything we love to exist at all. When we forget anicca, we tighten. We try to hold today's light in our hands, or freeze a moment of joy, or keep a person exactly as they are. The tightening hurts, not because life is cruel, but because we are pulling against its natural movement. Buddhism calls the ache of this resistance dukkha, the friction created when we ask, please stay, of what is born to change. To practice with anicca is not to become cold. It is to love without a cage. Imagine holding a bird, tender hands, open palms. You feel the warmth, the heartbeat, the miracle, and you let it fly when it needs to fly. Love doesn't end at that moment. It changes shape. It becomes space, blessing, gratitude. This is what impermanence invites. Love that can breathe. Look gently at your inner life. A thought arrives. I should have said more. Another follows. Maybe tomorrow I'll try again. Work karsat. Each has its season, seconds long, and then it passes. If you clutch the first, it grows heavy. If you watch both come and go, the mind stays light. Seeing Anika is like standing on the riverbank with kind attention, letting the water flow without trying to cup it all. This is not passivity. It is the most intimate involvement with reality. When you recognize change as constant, you act with appropriate care in the present. You apologize while the apology is fresh. You say, I love you, while the moment is here. You rest when the body asks, trusting that work will return in its time. Impermanence becomes a guide for wise timing. Do what matters now, because now is what we truly have. Consider the breath again as a small teacher. If you tried to keep the inhale forever, you'd suffocate. If you refuse to breathe in again, you'd fade. The grace lies in the rhythm. So too with feelings, roles, identities. You can let them come, let them teach, let them go, and meet the next moment with the same soft courage. Sometimes impermanence feels like loss. We grieve what changes because it mattered. Buddhism does not deny this tenderness. It bows to it. But it also points to the relief inside the grief. This too will pass. Pain changes. So does the edge of pain. Even the hardest night carries signs of morning if we're willing to look. The breath that keeps returning. The muscle that slowly unclenches. The thought that loosens by a hair's breadth, and then a little more. And there is another kindness hidden in Anika. No mistake is permanent. No mood defines you. No story must keep its ending. You are allowed to become, again and again. So as you lie here, let the teaching be simple. Notice what is moving. The air at your nostrils, the rise of your chest, the small weather of the mind. Whisper inward as a blessing rather than a rule. All things change. Let the words open space around whatever you feel. And in that space, feel the relief begin. The permission to rest, to trust, to be carried by the same rhythm that carries the stars. In the Buddhist language, dukkha is often translated as suffering, unease, or dissatisfaction. But the word points to something subtle. The friction we feel when life moves, and we insist it should not. Imagine a door whose hinges need oil. It still opens, but it scrapes. That scrape is dukkha, the sound of clinging against an impermanent world. Clinging can look like love, duty, even care. We cling to praise, to roles, to stories about who we must be. We cling to plans because we are afraid of the unknown. We cling to our opinions because they make us feel solid. And we cling to pain too, because it is familiar. Underneath all of it is a quiet plea. Please stay the same so I can feel safe. But nothing can grant that request, not even our own breath. Notice how dukkha arises in ordinary moments. A message goes unanswered a little longer than you hoped, and anxiety tightens. Traffic slows and impatience flares. Someone you love changes their mind, and you feel a pinch of betrayal. Not because they are wrong, but because your heart was holding a still picture of them. Clinging turns the moving stream into a rope we keep pulling. It makes tenderness feel like a task, and tomorrow feel like a threat. The Buddha did not say, do not love. He said, in practice, do not fasten your love to what cannot be fastened. When we love with a closed fist, we suffer. When we love with an open palm, love becomes breathable. The person, the moment, the self may change, and love changes with it, becoming blessing, gratitude, presence. How do we soften dukkha in the body? Begin where you are. Sense a small tightness. The jaw, the brow, the chest. Acknowledge it without scolding. Of course you're holding. You are trying to keep me safe. Then let the breath arrive as kindness. On the inhale, imagine oil on the hinge. On the exhale, feel the door open with less scrape. Even a millimeter of ease is real. How do we soften dukkha in the mind? Gently label what's happening. Planning, remembering, fearing, wanting. Names loosen knots. They remind you this is a process, not a permanent identity. You are not an anxious person right now. You are experiencing anxiety, a weather system that will pass. Place the thought on the river and let the river move. Clinging often hides in the belief that we must fix everything quickly. But wisdom can be slow. Try this. When a wave of resistance rises to aging, to uncertainty, to change, ask softly, what am I trying to keep from moving? Perhaps it is an image of yourself. Perhaps it is a timeline you promised to follow. Perhaps it is someone else's comfort you have been carrying like a stone. Whatever you find, bow to it. Thank it for its service. Then ask, what would this feel like with 10% less grip? That question alone opens a window. There is a relief on the far side of dukkha. When we release the demand that life obey us, we discover that life is not against us. It is carrying us. The breath keeps returning even when we forget to notice. The heart keeps beating even when we are tired of trying. Impermanence, seen clearly, becomes a partner rather than an enemy. It takes away what we cannot hold forever and brings what we could not have imagined. You do not have to stop clinging all at once. Just notice the hand that is closing and let one finger soften, then another, until the palm remembers how to open. Inside that opening, dukkha loosens its knot, and what remains is gentleness. Room enough for the next moment to arrive as it is. Acceptance is not resignation. It isn't giving up on the life you love. Acceptance is the clear seeing that lets love breathe. It is the moment you stop arguing with what already is, so that your next step can be wise, gentle, and real. Notice how the body responds when you allow a truth to be true. The shoulders lower a fraction. The jaw stops guarding the mouth. The breath now deepens on its own. This is the nervous system exhaling. It doesn't mean you agree with everything that happened. It means you are finished carrying the weight of insisting it didn't. Acceptance begins with small acknowledgements. This is the feeling that's here. This is the thought that's visiting. This is the change I cannot delay. Naming things softly is like opening a window. Air moves through. The room doesn't change its shape, but it becomes livable again. In the Buddhist view, acceptance is an act of compassion. It is compassion for the moment, for the people in it, and for yourself. When you accept, you place the moment in kind hands, not to freeze it, but to let it be held long enough to understand it. Only then do you know how to respond. Without acceptance, we react. With acceptance, we respond. And response is where freedom lives. Try this practice now. Let your breath arrive without help. With the inhale, whisper inward, let it be as it is. With the exhale, whisper, let me meet it kindly. Repeat for a few rounds, quietly. Feel how the phrases dissolve into sensation. how the body receives meaning without needing many words. What makes acceptance difficult is the quiet belief that control is safety. But you have discovered again and again that control is a tireless worker and a poor nurse. It keeps you awake long after help is needed. It strengthens fear while trying to soothe it. Acceptance, by contrast, is a door. You are not trapped outside your life. You are invited in. Consider a river you cannot dam. You cannot reverse its course, but you can learn its rhythm, move your boat with its current, rest in the coves it offers. Acceptance is the oar in open hands. It does not end the storm. It teaches you how to ride the water. There is tenderness in accepting joy as well, because even joy changes. When you accept that, you savor it as a guest, not as a possession. You thank it when it's here, and you thank it for what it leaves behind when it goes. Soft eyes, a warmed chest, a memory that no longer needs to be clutched. If sorrow is present, acceptance gives it a chair. Sit with me, you say. You don't have to prove anything. Often, sorrow simply wanted to be seen. When it is, it becomes smaller, more breathable, like a knot that loosens because someone touched it kindly. Let the practice become simpler still. Feel breath entering. Accept the entering. Feel breath leaving. Accept the leaving. Here is impermanence in its most merciful form, teaching you that peace isn't found by stopping the tide, but by resting with its ebb and flow. You are allowed to rest inside your life exactly as it is becoming. You are allowed to stop asking the future to promise you the past. You are allowed to be carried. So now, as the room grows quiet and the night holds you the way a shoreline holds the sea, let these words settle like a hand over the heart, not as an instruction, but as a remembering. You can rest because everything passes. The mind becomes smoke, not the smoke of fire, but the smoke of incense, thin, silver, spiraling upward without hurry, drawing shapes that are real for a breath, and then gently unremembered. You watch, and the watching changes nothing. The forms rise because they wish to rise. They fade because fading is their art. In this drifting, gravity is a rumor. Rooms rearrange themselves like polite clouds. A door becomes a curtain, and the curtain becomes a lake. And your feet make no splash as you step through its surface. You are not surprised. The dream has taught you its grammar. Nouns are mist, verbs are wind, and meaning is a lantern you carry from scene to scene. The moon appears as a soft coin in your palm. You flip it, and it becomes an eyelid closing the sky. When it opens, the street outside is paved with letters, each one glowing, each one a step. You walk from H to A to R to T, and the street spells heart, and the word beats once, twice, a bridge of sound you don't need to cross because you already have. Time loosens. Not hours, but petals. They rise and fall around you in slow motion, each with a small memory painted on it. The blue of a childhood bicycle, a window that smelled like rain, a laugh that never learned to end. You lift a petal to read it, and your hand becomes a bird. You open your hand, and it flies. Shapes are kind here. Walls lean away to give you room. Staircases fold down like gentle spines. You step onto the first stair, and it becomes a meadow, the grass singing in a language you somehow understand. Rest, rest, rest. You lie down, and the meadow is a book, and when you turn the page, the book is a night sky, and your breath is the constellation that keeps finding its way back to itself. The mind as smoke curls around old questions and makes them harmless. What was heavy becomes translucent. What was sharp becomes round. Worries float like paper boats across a dark mirror. You tap one and it multiplies into stars, each one a small permission to let go. Here, the laws are mercies. Light behaves as if it were listening. Shadows move out of your path, not because they fear you, but because they recognize you as their source. You hold out a palm, and a moth rests there, its wings printed with maps of cities you have never seen. You don't need to visit. The feeling of distance is already arrival. A hallway becomes a river. You take one slow step, and the river carries you 10 gentle miles. You arrive at a door made of breath. It opens, and you are inside a childhood kitchen where the clock ticks in whale song. Steam rises from a cup and writes your name in cursive that dissolves before you can read it. You don't mind. You are the reader, and the steam, and the silence after. The floating mind is not lost. It is free of corners. It remembers that form is a guest and space is the host. You drift without destination and discover that drifting is a kind of homecoming, a return to the wide place that existed before questions needed answers. Let yourself be smoke a little longer, silver and slow, coiling up a staircase that belongs to no house, drawing flowers in the air that blossom and vanish without regret. Everything is allowed to appear. Everything is allowed to pass. Dreams speak in pictures the way the ocean speaks in waves. Each image is a shoreline, then water again. To listen, you do not wrestle the wave. You feel its rhythm and let it tell you where it has been. A key turns in a door you've never seen. You step through and find a garden at night. Flowers giving off a fragrance that feels like remembering. The key is not a key. It is permission. It tells you there are rooms in the heart you have not visited lately, and that the lock was yours to open all along. A staircase appears, spiraling upward into dark. You climb, and with each step, your feet grow lighter. The staircase is not a test. It is aspiration. It says, you can rise without rushing. You can trust the unknown to hold your next step. When you look down, the stairs have become a ribbon of moonlight rolled back into the night that made it. A river crosses a hallway. Water slips under the doors and hums in the hinges. You kneel to touch it, and your hands come back brimming with names. Rivers in dreams are not only movement, they are memory in motion. Experiences that will not be kept in drawers. Feelings that prefer the honesty of flow to the safety of walls. You let one name drift away and notice that tenderness does not diminish with distance. It becomes clear enough to see its shape. The shadow of a bird that passes across the wall. You expect fear, but feel a small, clean ache. Shadows in dreams are not enemies. They are outlines of what asks for inclusion. You do not need to chase them with light. You place a hand over your chest, and the wall becomes a window, and the bird's shadow becomes a bird, resting on the sill, its feathers inscribed with the word forgiven. Objects blur into archetypes. A book without letters is understanding. A bridge with no rails is trust. A lamp that will not turn off is attention. Gentle, unwavering, present without strain. You learn the grammar of the dream by feeling how your body responds. When an image brings ease, it is guiding. When it tightens the breath, it is asking to be met slowly, held at the edges until it softens on its own. Now, a room full of mirrors, Each one returns a different season of your face. At first, the crowd of reflections feels loud, but one by one, they bow their heads as if to say, "We are not competing. We are a chorus." The mirrors are identity rehearsing its many roles. They ask you to love the choir without demanding a soloist. A door opens to a field of clocks with no hands. The air is sweet, like pears left on a windowsill. You wait for urgency that never arrives. This symbol is gentle. It says you cannot be late for yourself. Time is not a whip here. It is a hammock. You lie down, and the clocks become bees, humming a song that sounds like now, now, now. A small child appears, drawing a house with 4 windows and a sun that refuses to stay in the corner. You kneel to watch. In the dream's language, the child is not only your past, they are your capacity for wonder, your unpracticed courage, the part of you that believes every threshold is a game of light. You let them press a crayon into your hand, and when you draw, the line becomes a path that keeps you company. If an image scares you, listen for what it wants. A storm on the horizon might be energy asking to move. A tangled forest might be thought asking to rest from choosing. Name it softly, then let it change shape. Storms often become rain. Forests often open into clearings when no one is demanding a map. You do not decode dreams like puzzles solved once and for all. You sit with them the way you sit with a friend, with warmth, with patience, with respect for silences. Symbols are shy. They speak when believed, offer kindness, and they tell you enough. Now the bell-like shimmer fades, and shadows lengthen into a peace that does not dim. You understand without explaining. The images were never tasks. They were bridges carrying you back to the body's quiet harbor, where breath is the only lantern you need, and the night keeps watch with gentle eyes. In dreams, the self loosens its laces. It steps out of its daytime shoes, the names, the roles, the practiced angles, and moves barefoot through a softer world. You do not vanish. You become wider than your outline. The dream begins the untying gently. Your name is spoken across a lake and arrives as ripples. Each syllable spreads and thins until it is only water remembering a sound. You feel no urgency to collect it. The lake is not losing itself by widening. Neither are you. A mirror appears, fogged by your own breath. You lift a hand, and the glass does not reflect a single face. It blooms with many: child, student, stranger, lover, caretaker, wanderer, a quiet constellation of the lives you've worn. They do not argue. They hum like bees in a warm room, and their humming says, "We are one body, learning to rest." Walls become curtains. Curtains become mist. Mist becomes a meadow you can walk through without choosing a path. Choice is soft here. Identity is a scarf you can drape or fold, a color changing with the angle of night. Nothing needs defending. You can turn and be a tree for a while, not pretending, but remembering the vertical silence that has always lived in your spine. A wind moves through your branches, and every leaf is an idea letting go. You meet a figure who speaks in your voice from years ago. They offer you a small box. Inside is a key that opens only doors made of air. You laugh, not with the mouth, but with the whole chest, and the figure dissolves into birds. They rise, and something rises with them. A piece of you that thought it had to stay small in order to stay safe. The self thins further. What remains is not an I standing apart, but an awareness that includes the way the night sky includes the stars without holding them. You are the field rather than the fence. Thoughts, memories, faces pass through like deer at dusk. Seen, allowed, unchased. Sometimes a question arrives. I am not my name, my story, my weight in the world. What am I? The dream answers without words. You are the listening that survives every costume. You are the softness that remains after effort. You are the harbor, not the boat. A hallway opens, bright as moonlit milk. You step forward, and your footsteps make no sound. There is a door, and on it a single letter. Not the first letter of your name, but the first letter of now. When you touch it, the door is already open. You enter a room the size of kindness. Everything you have ever tried to be is welcomed and invited to sit down. No one must leave for anyone else to belong. Here, even the boundaries of the body are kind. You are skin, and then you are breath. And then you are the space around breath. You are the pulse. And then the listening of the pulse. And then the quiet that receives both without effort. You are the light behind closed eyes that is not a lamp and not a sun, but a tender awareness that asks for nothing. The self does not disappear in this room. It becomes transparent enough for the world to shine through. You are less someone in the dream and more the dreaming itself. The velvet between images, the silence that makes the music audible. Let the remaining threads loosen. Let the last label slip like a ring from a hand resting in water. There is no emergency when you are this spacious. There is only breath arriving, breath leaving, and the soft recognition that the witness was never at risk. Now rest as that witness, clear and quiet, as if you were the night holding the outline of a sleeping city. Nothing to keep, nothing to push away. You can drift without losing yourself, because what you are cannot drift. It is the wide, patient stillness in which everything dreams. Imagine a garden at the edge of dusk, soil warm with the memory of daylight, air cool with the promise of night. Somewhere beneath the surface, seeds are making quiet decisions. They do not hurry. They do not plead. They listen to temperature, to moisture, to time. A chorus of small instructions older than language. A seed is a vow wrapped in patience. From the outside, it seems like nothing is happening. A husk, a speck, a dot on the palm. But inside, design is waiting. The spiral that knows how to unfold into leaf, stem, blossom, fruit. The seed keeps its counsel until the right conditions whisper, yes. Then something tender breaks. Not a breaking apart, but a breaking open. We live as seeds more often than we realize. There are seasons when nothing shows above the soil of our days. We feel hidden or late or unfinished. But roots are busy in the dark. They map the underground, reach for water, make treaties with the soil's small citizens. This is the first lesson of seasons. Growth begins when no one sees. In spring, the garden is a sentence just beginning. Tender shoots puncture the crust of yesterday, grammar made of green. Spring says, try again. It does not argue with winter. It simply arrives with softness strong enough to lift the world a fraction. We too have springs. Mornings when we risk a new thought. Evenings when courage feels like a small leaf unrolling. Summer is the long breath of yes. Heat gathers sweetness in the fruit. and the days stretch like golden cloth on a line. What began as a whisper becomes a melody. Work is joy, effort is ripening. But even summer, most generous of seasons, asks us to remember shade, to rest before the light becomes a weight. Then autumn steps forward with its robe of endings. Leaves let go without embarrassment. Color peaks not to cling, but to prepare. Harvest is a blessing and a farewell. We gather what grew, and we bow to what must return to earth. In our lives, autumn is the hour of honest inventory. Gratitude heavy in both hands, willingness to release what the next chapter cannot carry. Winter is the quiet architect. Bare branches sketch truth against the sky. The ground sleeps, but sleep is not idleness. It is drafting, revising, repairing. The blueprints of next spring drawn in frost and breath. We meet our own winters in nights like this, still, inward, pared down to essentials. Not a punishment, not a pause of failure, a necessary hush where strength collects. Impermanence is the garden's law and its mercy. Nothing blooms all the time, and because nothing blooms all the time, blooming remains a miracle. A bud is valuable not because it lasts, but because it belongs to a cycle that knows what to do with change. When we forget this, we pull at the plant. We demand blossom at the wrong hour and call the garden unkind when it refuses. But a wise gardener listens more than they insist. They water, they weed, they wait. They learn the names of patience, germination, hardening off, setting fruit, going to seed. They know that every triumph will leave a handful of seeds, and every loss will leave a handful too. Hold one of those seeds in your mind now. See its matte skin, its small gravity. Inside is a map folded so tightly it looks like stillness. But when the season calls its name, the map will open and a road of green will rise where there was only dark. You are allowed to be seasonal. You are allowed to rest as roots, to reach as stems, to sing as flowers, to give as fruit, to fall as leaves, to sleep as seeds. Each phase is true. None is final. So as the night air settles and the field hush grows deeper, let your life align with the old calendar, not the clock's command, but the garden's wisdom. Trust the work that happens beneath notice. Trust the ripening you cannot rush. Trust the falling that feeds the soil. And trust the small, bright vow inside you. Quiet, patient, perfectly timed, already becoming what it promised long ago. There is a moment the garden has been rehearsing for, a breath when the green music gathers itself and without fanfare opens. Bloom is not an argument, it is a confession. All the quiet work beneath the soil, all the patient engineering of stems and veins, all the slow mathematics of light and water resolve into color that cannot be kept. A bud loosens, petals unstick from their folded vows, and the flower steps into the briefest spotlight, not to be seen, but to be itself. You can feel the timing in your body too. That sensation before a laugh, before tears, before saying yes. The moment is small and infinite at once, a hinge on which the day turns. It is beautiful, partly because it knows how to end. We often ask bloom to last. We invite cameras and calendars. We promise to return tomorrow to find it exactly as it was. But bloom is not a museum piece. It is a verb that loves the present tense. To bargain with it is to miss its gift. The intimate lesson that joy is most honest when it is shared with change. Watch closely. The center brightens, insects bow and hum. The stalk trembles as if the heart of the plant had become visible. For a few hours, sometimes only minutes, the world concentrates its sweetness. Then, inevitably, the edges soften, color deepens, then pales. The cup of the flower tips toward dusk. One petal loosens and then another, not in defeat, but in fulfillment. The brevity is not a flaw, it is the signature of the real. What stays forever loses the ability to astonish. What passes asks us to look with our whole attention, to be here with nothing held back. We do not love the flower less because it falls. We love it more because it teaches us to fall in love with moments, not monuments. Think of the times your life has bloomed. A sudden clarity, a conversation where truth arrived unguarded, a morning when your reflection seemed kinder, an evening when forgiveness opened like a window. Those hours did not promise to repeat themselves, and yet they seeded everything that came after. Like flowers, our brightest instants are both harvest and beginning. To honor a bloom is simple. You witness it without trying to turn it into proof. You say thank you while it is here, and go gently when it leans away. You let its fragrance remain in your clothes, its color in your eyes, its pattern in your hands. What leaves the stem does not leave the world. There is a humility to blooming that the human heart can learn. The flower does not compare itself to yesterday's blossom or to the hedge down the lane. It does not ask if the light is flattering. It faces what arrives, offers itself completely, and trusts the season to carry what it cannot. If you have been waiting for your own moment of bloom, remember that opening is not a performance. It's a permission. You are allowed to be briefly, brightly yourself, to speak, to sing, to show the color you have been mixing in secret. No guarantee of applause, only the certainty of release. And release is its own applause. Soon petals will wither. They will feed the soil that once fed them. Seeds will take the stage with their quiet gravity, and the cycle will continue, faithful and unhurried. But now is the hour of astonishment. Let your eyes linger. Let your breath widen. Let gratitude be the hand that does not pluck, the gaze that does not grasp. A bloom is a brief home where the world remembers its kindness. Step into it while the door is open. When it closes, bow. The closing is part of the beauty, the proof that life knows how to keep moving without losing what it makes precious. After the bloom, the garden lowers its voice. Color exhales. Petals loosen their grip on light and begin to weather, edges browning the way evening touches a cloud. To the hurried eye, this looks like ending. But the crickets know better. They keep their steady hymn, as if to say, something is happening beneath the falling. Decay has a soft grammar. First, the bright cup opens wider than needed, then bends, then folds toward the ground, as if listening for instructions. Fragrance thins to a memory. The wind, kind, constant, combs through what remains. It is not cruelty that takes the shine from the petals. It is the returning of borrowed radiance to the wide storehouse of earth. Let your gaze follow the arc downward. See how the stem, once insistent with sap, relaxes into a gentler work, feeding what has fed it. Petals loosen and become parchment. They fall with the grace of letters, finishing a sentence. On the soil, they are no longer ornament, but offering. They begin to share their sugars with lives too small to name. Beneath the visible, a feast begins. Fungi thread their lace through fallen matter, reading the script of what was grown and translating it into what will be possible next. Microbes hold a quiet festival, a communion of breathers and eaters and makers, turning yesterday's color into tomorrow's root. What we call decay, the soil calls remembering. The seed heads thicken, heavy with arithmetic. Inside each, a ledger of future gardens is kept. Something that looks like loss is counting forward. The husk roughens, the hinge of a pod loosens. A single seed slips free and writes a comma in the air. The wind edits the sentence, carrying the small gravity to a new line of ground. In our lives, we know this season too. A chapter closes, a roll thins like paper. A certainty we wore like summer cotton begins to fray. We are tempted to mourn only the brightness. But if you place your ear to the field of change, you can hear the low industry of becoming. What falls apart is making room. What you relinquish becomes nutrient. There is a kindness in letting things complete their dissolving, not ripping. Ripeness knows when to release. The garden never rushes the return. It trusts the modest genius of time. Cool nights, warm days, the sweep of air that never asks for thanks. Our task is similar: to let old stories compost, to let old defenses soften into soil, to let grief, given patience and weather, feed a greener tenderness. Notice how beautiful the browns are: russet, amber, the gold of last light saved in straw. There is a color to endings, a palette the eye learns only by lingering. Even the collapsed stalks make a music. The whisper of dry as it meets dry, a quiet percussion under the cricket choir. If bloom was astonishment, this is reverence. Kneel with the field a moment. Touch the crumbly page of soil. Feel how easily it takes the print of your fingers. How ready it is to fold anything into welcome. Say thank you to what is leaving. Say thank you to what is arriving in disguise. Say thank you to the invisible hands, fungus, microbe, or time, that refuse waste and make a cathedral of every fall. When the wind passes, it sounds like pages turning. The garden reads itself aloud and continues. Nothing is erased. Everything is rewritten. Petal to humus, humus to root, root to stem, stem to bloom, and back again in the long, merciful sentence of the year. So if you feel yourself softening, if a bright chapter is folding toward earth, let the crickets guide you. Let the country wind carry what you cannot keep. Trust the quiet mathematics underfoot. What seems to end is beginning in another grammar. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, where are you really? Not in place, not in a city, a room, a bed, but in time. If the body lies in the present, why does the mind often wander, looping into yesterday, reaching toward tomorrow, pulling you through hours that no longer exist or have not yet arrived? In Zen, there is a saying, time is only mind. It does not tick from one second to the next like numbers on a clock. It flows in you, through you, changing shape depending on your attention. When you're anxious, it stretches. When you're at peace, it dissolves. The idea that time is fixed, that marches in one direction like an arrow, is a useful story. But it is still just a story. Zen reminds us, the only moment you ever truly touch is this one. This inhale, this pause between words, this fading of light on the wall. Even memory is not the past. It is a present moment activity. Images arising now, flickers of old feelings dancing in today's mind. And the future? It's imagination wearing tomorrow's clothes. So what happens when we stop clinging to time? When we stop measuring our worth by what we've done, what we've finished, what we plan next? We return softly to the space beneath the stories, to the breath moving in and out, unconcerned with deadlines, to the sensation of skin against cotton, of heartbeat against silence, to the eternal now that has been waiting for us all along. Time cannot be held like a thread. You cannot grasp it or rewind it or press it forward. But you can dissolve in it, as a snowflake melts into a stream, as a candle burns into its own glow. And in that surrender, you may find something deeper than time, a stillness that neither begins nor ends. This is the moment that sleep knows. Not 10 o'clock, not midnight, but this moment. The space between one thought and the next, when the mind begins to loosen its grip on names and plans and counting. Time cannot follow you there. In sleep, in deep rest, you enter a realm beyond the numbers, a place where you are not behind or ahead, not early or late, but simply here. So if you've spent your day chasing the clock, feeling too slow, too rushed, too full, let it go. You're not late. You're exactly where you are, and that is always now. There is only this breath, not the next one, not yet, not the last one. It has returned to the wide, invisible sea. Only this breath, arriving like a visitor with no luggage, hands open, eyes clear. Feel how the body welcomes it without ceremony. Nostrils widen a little. The throat becomes a small hallway of wind. The ribs move like doors on well-oiled hinges. A lightness spreads through the chest, not because anything was fixed, but because presence has weightless hands. There is only this breath. Let it be ordinary. Let it refuse performance. You do not need to deepen or lengthen it. The breath knows the path to and from your heart better than your plans do. If it is short, it is short. If it is long, it is long. Your task is not to command, but to witness with kindness. Notice how everything you call now is braided into this single movement, sound gathering and fading, warmth touching the cheek, gravity keeping its gentle promise. Thoughts appear as if knocking softly. Some are invited in, some wander off down the hall. The breath remains. There is only this breath. When a worry comes, give it one inhale of hospitality. Let it sit. On the exhale, escort it to the threshold with a bow. No debate, no verdict, only a respectful passage. The mind will learn from your manners. What is welcomed gently is also willing to leave gently. Feel the precision of the present. It contains no leftovers and no coupons for later. It asks nothing from yesterday and owes nothing to tomorrow. All of living is condensed to a single kindness. Air entering, air leaving. There is only this breath. If the body aches, place your palm nearby and listen. Let the inhale bring cool shade. Let the exhale be warm water over stone. Relax the mouth so the breath can pass without paying a toll. Let the tongue rest in its cradle, the jaw unbutton its seriousness, the eyes soften into dusk. You are not trying to arrive. Arrival is happening with every inhale. You're not trying to let go. Letting go is what every exhale is made of. In this rhythm, effort becomes unnecessary and devotion becomes simple. There is only this breath. You may notice small mercies hiding in plain sight. The body keeps choosing life without being persuaded. The heart repeats its steady lesson. The room holds you like a bowl holds light. Even the spaces between breaths have a taste, a sweetness like pause, a quiet like dew. When the mind insists on clocks, give it a softer job. Count one breath, only one. Then forget to count the next. Naming a single wave is enough to remind the ocean of itself. There is only this breath. Allow the boundaries of you to widen with it. In oneness, out belonging. Air that was everywhere becomes intimate, then returns to everywhere again. Your life participates in a larger life with each cycle. Soon, sleep will continue the work of tenderness. You don't have to arrange that. You are already leaning into its arms each time you exhale. There is only this breath. Let the words fade, but keep the knowing. Let the knowing fade, but keep the gentleness. What remains is the simplest prayer the body can pray, a prayer answered as it is spoken. There is only this breath. Each night, we rehearse a great letting go. We set down our name, our projects, our comparisons. We loosen the day from our shoulders as if untying a cloak in a quiet doorway. Sleep arrives not as an eraser, but as a gentle teacher of surrender. It shows us how to release the world without losing what is true. To speak of dying here is not to summon fear. It is to bow to a rhythm already woven into being alive. Life is a tide of arrivals and departures. In every breath, in every season, in every change of heart, sleep is the tender rehearsal, a daily trust fall into the unmade, a reminder that what we are does not end when the details blur. Notice how the body prepares. The eyes lower their lanterns, the hands open without audience. Thoughts loosen their knots and trail into softer threads. You do not force this, you consent to it. Consent is the secret door. Through it, effort becomes devotion, and control becomes the kindness of letting be. Imagine placing the day on a small boat. Your conversations, your decisions, your brief aches and bright moments. All of it rests in the boat. With a single candle lit, you push it onto a black, kind river. The candle doesn't fight the darkness. It trusts it. The boat drifts, the flame thins, and you feel lighter. Not because you have lost the day, but because you have given it back to the water that carries all days. What makes sleep a practice rather than an accident is attention. As you prepare to fall, you can whisper inward, I release what cannot follow me. Old arguments set down the shields. Plans fold themselves like letters to be opened in the morning. Even the self, so necessary for crossing streets and writing emails, is laid beside the bed with love. You do not discard it. You bless it with rest. If fear stirs, meet it with the smallest prayer you know. Hold me as I let go. Feel the bed answer. Feel the breath answer. Feel the night answer with a silence that is not empty but complete. Here, letting go is not a fall through space. It is a return to the space that has always held you. In certain traditions, they say the wise die before they die, meaning they practice release while life is generous, so that when larger endings come, the heart already speaks the language of trust. Every night you practice a few words of that language. Thank you, I release, I belong. And then the final gesture. You step across the small border where the mind stops telling the story of you. The border is tender as a breath's pause. On one side, the lamp. On the other, the wide, moonless kindness. You are not disappearing. You are being carried into a depth that returns you softer, way morning returns you from darkness with a new set of hands. Let sleep teach you how to let go without fear, to die a little to effort, and wake a little to grace. Tonight, the lesson is simple, and you already know its steps. Exhale, unclasp, lean. You will be caught, you will be kept. You will wake knowing how to release again and to live more gently because you practiced. We are not moving through change alone. Every living thing is traveling beside us, each on its own quiet river. Some currents run fast and glittering. Some are hidden underground, cool and slow as patience. But all of them are water, and all of them are going. Think of the city at night. Behind windows you will never enter. Thousands of lives are loosening the day in their own ways. A cook sets down a knife and rinses the last plate. A nurse returns home to the first silence of her shiftless morning. A student closes a laptop, heart full of questions and caffeine. An elder rubs lotion into hands that have done a lifetime of holding. None of them knows your name, and yet you share something more intimate than names. The rhythm of becoming, the ache of letting go, the soft hope that tomorrow might be kinder because tonight will be. Out beyond the streets, the animals are practicing this too. A fox chooses a new path through long grass. Moths burn and unburn their wings against porch light. Birds, hidden in the architecture of trees, turn their heads and settle. Even the tide adjusts its necklace of foam by the moon's unspeaking advice. No creature is spared the education of change. No creature is asked to pass the exam alone. When we remember this, something unclenches. The boundary between my pain and the pain becomes more porous. We stop blaming ourselves for moving, for grieving, for needing more time. And compassion begins, not as a project, not as a performance, but as a recognition. Others are drifting too. Some days they swim, some days they float, some days they're carried on their backs by friends you cannot see. Bring to mind a person you find difficult. Notice how your chest responds, the small armor that lifts when their face appears. Now imagine their river, the turns you don't know, the storms that met them upstream, the stones they are learning to step around. You do not have to excuse harm to understand context. Compassion is not surrendering clarity. It is adding warmth to it. You might not step closer, but you can set down a little of your spike, and the setting down is for both of you. Bring to mind someone you love. Feel how easily your inner water meets theirs, how quickly you wish them safety. Bread, a simple morning. Let that wish widen. Let it travel across your memory's map. Friends, strangers, the almost forgotten names, neighbors with their private thresholds. The quiet cashier you nodded to twice this week. The delivery rider whose jacket shines like a small planet in rain. Imagine offering them the gentlest blessing you can craft. May your river be kind tonight. May the banks hold. May the water remember its way. Compassion does not require fixing, only presence with a human-sized tenderness. Sometimes that tenderness is a message sent. Sometimes it is silence kept. Sometimes it is the patience not to demand a story from another's grief. We become trustworthy harbors for each other, places where a boat can rest without being repainted. You are allowed to accept this harbor too. Let others' care meet you where you are, not where you think you should be. Shared impermanence means shared permission. To change without apology, to rest without earning, to belong without performing the old versions of yourself. Listen now to the world passing gently around you. A distant car, a hinge somewhere, the whisper of air, each soundproof that life continues in a million small survivals. You are within that chorus, neither the first voice nor the last, but necessary as any note. When you breathe, the song includes you. When you exhale, it includes the space you make. Let the thoughts settle like a hand over the heart. We are many rivers, one ocean. We are many stories, one turning page. And we can meet here, in the tender middle, not to stop the water, but to travel it together more gently. Begin by setting the past down as if it were a heavy satchel. Not thrown, not hidden, placed. Your hands have carried it longer than most people know. Let them rest. Forgiving the past is not rewriting what happened. It is changing your posture toward it. You stop kneeling to old scenes as if they were gods. You start visiting them as a wise friend. Curious, merciful, honest. Bring to mind a moment that still tugs at your sleeve. Not the sharpest one. Choose something medium weight, something you can hold without shaking. Notice what the body does when it appears. A tightening at the throat, a heat behind the eyes, a familiar armor arriving to protect a familiar ache. Place a gentle hand where the feeling lives. Breathe there, as if opening a window in a closed room. Say softly, I know why you're here. Name what rises. Guilt, regret, fear, longing. Names turn monsters into visitors. Visitors can be offered a chair. Now imagine the scene as a small stage inside the heart. You are both audience and director. Let the past version of you walk forward. Watch their eyes, their shoulders, their hands. Look for the reasons inside their choices, not to excuse, but to understand. What did they know then? What didn't they? What were they protecting, hoping, surviving? Offer them language that wasn't available that day. You were trying to belong. You were trying to be brave with a map you didn't have. You were tired, and no one could see it. You thought love meant pleasing everyone. Feel the body soften even as you say it. Understanding is not permission for harm. It is permission for healing. If someone hurt you in that scene, let another chair appear for them, far enough to feel safe. You do not need to absolve them to put down the weight they left. Say what you needed then. That hurt me. I deserved gentleness. I will protect this heart now. Notice how truth clears the air. Forgiveness of self is a craft of small tools. Try this one, the 10% loosening, where the hand grips ask for 10% less, where the mind loops untie one knot, where the voice scolds lower it a shade until it sounds like care. Mercy rarely arrives as thunder. It arrives as a series of softer choices. Another tool, correct the measurement. Regret measures you by who you were. Compassion measures you by who you were becoming. Hold up the ruler of growth. See the inches that were invisible then. A boundary learned, a tenderness earned, a future mistake already made smaller by this noticing. Now breathe with the scene. Inhale, I receive the lesson. Exhale, I release the punishment. Again, slowly. Let the words thin until only breath remains, and breath does the speaking for you. Arriving, leaving, forgiving by its very nature, if the mind insists. But I should have known better. Answer kindly. Knowing is also seasonal. You cannot harvest a field you had not planted. You cannot love with skills you had not learned. What you can do is learn now and carry the learning forward the way a lantern carries fire, useful, shared, bright enough for the next step. consider a letter you might write to your earlier self. Not pages, just a few lines slipped under a door. I see how hard you tried. Thank you for keeping us alive while you learned. I'll take it from here with more gentleness. You can leave the door ajar as you go. The past does not need to be locked behind you to be complete. Before we close, place your hand again where the ache once lived. Notice what has changed, perhaps only a degree, but degrees turn ships. Whisper a final blessing to the younger you and to the person listening now, in this room, at this hour. You are allowed to begin again without debt. You are allowed to be kinder than the memory expects. You are allowed to be carried forward by what you learned, not pulled backward by how you learned it. Let the satchel remain where you placed it. If you need something from it later, you can return with calmer hands. For tonight, the journey is lighter. For tonight, forgiveness is the pillow beneath your breathing. Everything changes, and yet something endures, not as an object, but as a current. Kindness is that current. It moves through hands and hours, to strangers and seasons, to rooms where names are forgotten, but warmth remains. If anything in this brief life hints at the undying, it is love made simple, a door held, a voice softened, a listening that doesn't hurry the heart. Think of a kindness you received years ago. Small, almost unremarkable at the time. Perhaps someone waited for you in the rain. Perhaps a teacher lent their steadiness to a day that was coming apart. Perhaps a friend refused to leave the porch until your breathing slowed. The moment ended. The rain stopped. The porch emptied. But the steadiness stayed. It learned your shape and followed you forward. This is continuity, not a fixed stone, but a river that remembers its banks. Kindness does not need applause to multiply. It is mycelium beneath the forest, threads passing nourishment from tree to tree, invisible work that keeps the visible alive. When you offer a small mercy to someone you may never meet again, the thread travels. It may surface years later as a gentler tone in a nurse's voice, as patience in a parent's hands, as a stranger holding an elevator because the day behind you looks heavy. You cannot trace the line, but the line is there. We long for permanence, but objects betray us. They chip, rust, fade. Even memories blur their edges to save us from the weight. Kindness resists that erosion by refusing to be a thing. It is a relation, a movement, a yes. It persists by passing through us, not by staying with us. Each time we give it away, it appears again, not smaller, not spent, but fresh as water. Consider the continuity of your own breath. Air that was everywhere becomes intimate, then returns to everywhere again. So it is with love. It arrives from the wide world of all who have cared, rests a while in your chest, and then leaves to soften another place. You are not the owner of this current. You are one of its beautiful shapes. Let kindness begin close tonight. Speak to the body with the voice you would use for a child who is almost asleep. Thank you. I know you're tired. I will carry you gently. Let the mind hear a promise it can trust. No more arguments now, only rest. Self-kindness is not indulgence. It is continuity's first bridge. From here, it can cross to others without losing its warmth in transit. Kindness is not a performance. It can be quiet, nearly invisible, answering truthfully and softly, noticing someone's effort before correcting their error, choosing a smaller story when a larger one would wound. Leaving room in a conversation for the person who needs more time to find their words. Wherever we create space for another's dignity, we lengthen the thread. There will be days when you cannot offer much. Let continuity work anyway. Place one small pebble of gentleness where you stand. Drink water. Send a single sentence of care. Place your palm over your chest and remember the river you belong to. On other days, you will have more to give. Time, attention, repair. Give it cleanly, then let it go. What continues does not ask for proof. If you worry that kindness is too fragile for the world's roughness, remember how water shapes stone, not by force, but by constancy, by returning, by trusting its nature more than the obstacle's hardness. In this way, your quiet mercies become geographies. One day, our names will thin. The specific stories will loosen their buttons, but the current we tended will go on, moving through rooms we never enter, steadying hands we will not hold, arriving as an unexplainable ease in someone else's chest. Let that be a comfort tonight. You are part of something that outlasts you by flowing through you. Rest in that river. Add a little warmth to it now, even here, even lying still. Then let it travel on while you sleep. Kindness keeping its luminous continuity, the closest thing to forever that a human life can carry. Somewhere beyond your window, the dark thins. It doesn't leave all at once. It loosens thread by thread, as if the night were untying its own quiet knots. The edge of the world brightens, almost shy, and you can feel light before you see it. A coolness turning to clarity, a promise becoming shape. The first birds begin with courtesy. One note, then listening. Another, a little braver. They do not rush the choir. They trust the sky to widen in its time. Each call is a small lantern raised for the next voice to find. Soon there is a weave of sound, thin silk at first, then a fabric you could almost wear. Inside, the room remembers color. What was charcoal becomes charcoal blue. What was shadow becomes soft outline. The gentle slope of a chair back, the quiet architecture of a book's spine, your hand where it rests, unafraid of being seen. Light does not interrogate, it introduces. It says only, here you are. Here is the day, returning with the simplest of invitations. Breathe with the widening. Notice how the chest answers dawn as leaves answer wind, not by deciding, but by belonging. The body knows morning's grammar, a longer inhale that tastes faintly of time and cool dust, an exhale that makes room for birdsong. The heart listens and finds itself keeping time. Out in the streets, the first movements begin, a bicycle's whisper, the early truck like a low tide rolling, a neighbor's footsteps soft as erasers on paper. None of it disturbs the spell. It completes it. Night and day are not enemies meeting at a border. They are two hands passing the same bowl. You might notice the blessing of ordinary things, a curtain that glows the pail of milk, the tin cup you love warming to color, the plant on the sill lifting its head as if remembering its own name. Dawn is the world's kind rehearsal, everything returning to its part, not perfectly, but together. If a few dreams linger, let them perch on the window frame. They will learn the morning's light and fly when they're ready. No need to explain them, no need to keep them. They were bridges. You have crossed. As brightness gathers, gratitude arrives in small, workable pieces. Thank you for this breath that didn't ask for proof. Thank you for this body that knows how to wake. Thank you for the tasks that will need just enough of me. and for the spaces between them where I can listen again. The birds are braver now, their notes stitched into a gentle insistence. Begin, not urgently. Begin the way light begins, by touching what is nearest, kindly, then widening without strain. Open your eyes when you like, as if surfacing from a lake that loved you. Let the first look be generous. Let it say yes to the day without promising too much. You are returning, not to a race, but to a field where morning lays out its simple tools: hands, breath, attention. The world wakes, and so do you. Slowly, beautifully, in chorus with the soft machinery of dawn. Carry the night's tenderness forward as daylight's quiet strength. Let the birds keep time for your first steps, and let this light, patient and exact, show you how to begin again. Each morning is an argument for beginning again, not the loud kind. No slogans, no trumpet, a quieter proof. Light finding the edges of a cup, steam lifting like a blessing, the room adding color as if the day were being painted from the inside. Change has a reputation for breaking things, but listen closely to how it arrives at dawn. Not as a storm, but as a soft rearrangement. Darkness loosening, horizons widening. Your breath learning a new length for the hour ahead. Every shift is a door, and most doors open by themselves if we lean with kindness. Look at your hands in this early light. They are the same hands, yes, and yet not the same. Rested, warmer, a little more willing. The night has done its private work, rethreaded thoughts, repaired small seams, filed sharp edges of memory until they sit smooth in the pocket. You didn't have to supervise. You only had to let go long enough for renewal to draft its plans. Consider the streets outside, the sweeper's slow choreography, the baker unlocking a metal gate, a cyclist gliding by with the hush of a page turning. Nothing here is repeating exactly. The bread will rise differently. Today's wind will choose another route. The sparrows will revise their chorus by one bright note. Change is not the enemy of rhythm. It is the rhythm. When we fear change, we picture loss. But change is also the seed's decision to split, the heart's decision to forgive, the mind's decision to set down what cannot be carried another mile. To renew is to trust that what falls away was making room for breath, for a clearer word, for gentler sight. Try a small practice now. Name one thing you can soften by 5%. Not a revolution, a tilt. Loosen the jaw's busy hinge. Ease the shoulder that keeps volunteering as a shield. Let a single expectation step back half a pace. Notice how the morning grows when you do, as if light had been waiting for your permission to enter a little further. The garden knows this truth without debate. Last night's petals become today's soil. The tree loses a leaf and gains a clean line against the sky. Even clouds renew their purpose by moving on, making space for the tone of blue that carries your mood more gently. If nature is a book of continuations, you are a chapter in that same patient grammar. Perhaps there's a change arriving in your life, unwanted, unscheduled, or simply unclear. Let dawn tutor you in its handling. Meet what is new with presence before opinion. Greet it at the door with a cup of breath. Ask, what do you want me to learn that I could not learn while holding on? Not every answer is immediate, but every sincere question loosens a knot. Renewal is not a different person waking up. It is this person with 1 degree more kindness. It is this room with one more window open. It is your same life, seen with eyes that have rinsed in night. Take the first step of the day as a small vow to let change be the way goodness travels, to let endings be useful, to let beginnings be humble. Carry the softness of the dark into the light, and carry the clarity of the light back into your heart. The birds keep time, the kettle clicks, your breath steadies like a tide that remembers the moon. And you, newly woven with the morning, are already, quietly, beginning again. Begin with one easy breath, the kind that doesn't ask for drama. In, and there's room. Out, and the room grows kinder. Notice how the light gathers on the windowsill like a small chorus, each ray with its own soft note. Good morning. Good morning. Gratitude doesn't have to arrive as a speech. Let it arrive as noticing. The blanket kept you. The pillow remembered your shape. The night did its quiet stitching. Thoughts hemmed, edges smoothed. Thank you, night. Your hands, a little warm now, ready to carry, to hold, to make. Thank you, hands. Your feet, patient servants, waiting for the day's first assignment. Thank you, feet. Your heart, steady drummer, imperfect, brave, uncomplaining. Thank you, heart. Take another breath, as if tasting the morning. It has a flavor, faint mint of cool air, a hint of dust made gentle by light. Maybe the first idea of coffee or tea. Maybe the leaf scent from a plant lifting its green shoulders on the sill. You do not need to deserve this. Gratitude is not an invoice, it's a window. Open it a little more. Look outward. The world beginning again without fanfare. A cyclist writing a quiet line across the street. A child's early laugh in the apartment above. A small bell. A cloud rearranging itself into a softer thought. Thank you, world. Look inward. The mind is calmer than the one that fell asleep. It is still a mind. It will think. But its first thoughts are lighter now, feathered with yes. Let them perch a moment before they fly. If a worry wakes with you, let gratitude take it by the hand. Not to banish it, but to keep it company at a kinder distance. You might say, I hear you. Also, thank you for trying to protect me. Come along, we'll walk together, and you can rest when you're ready. Worries relax when believed and not obeyed. Today does not need a manifesto. It needs a tone. One note you can hum beneath your errands. Try this. Move kindly, look gently, begin small. Each small beginning is a doorway you don't have to force. Now choose one true thing to appreciate fully. The way steam curls like handwriting above the cup. The way sunlight draws a gold edge around ordinary objects. A spoon, a book, a key. The way your lungs, without asking, keep opening their hands. Let the appreciation last 3 breaths long. That's all it takes for gratitude to take root. If you like, shape the morning with a simple vow. I will let ease lead where effort is needed. Or, I will add one softness to every task. Or simply, thank you. I will keep saying it. Stand if you're ready, feeling the body lengthen like a plant toward light. Feet on the floor, this is home. Hands on the cup, this is warmth. Eyes at the window, this is beginning. Let gratitude travel through posture, not just through thought. A grateful spine is a compass. Before you step into the day, place one more thank you where it matters most. Inside your breath. Whisper it on the inhale, thank, and on the exhale, you. Walk like that for the first few minutes. A quiet prayer that doesn't need a temple, only a corridor of light and your own attentive steps. A new breath means a new world, and the world accepts you as you are. Carry this uncomplicated blessing forward. You woke, you noticed, you thanked, and the day, hearing your soft yes, widened to meet you. The night has traveled with you, through silence, through surrender, through the soft practice of letting go. Now, at its edge, you can look back without turning and see how the darkness was never empty. It held you like water holds a reflection, gently, without asking for shape. You began in the hush of arrival, the slow unwinding of thought, the first surrender. You walked through the fields of stillness and dream, met the rivers of change, felt the body renew, listened to impermanence teaching its quiet lessons. You learned to see beauty not in what lasts, but in what moves. Each chapter, each breath, another petal of impermanence opening in the dark. The echoes of that journey hum beneath the waking world. They sound like the rhythm of your breathing, like a tide receding but not gone, like the faint memory of a bell that once guided you across a bridge of silence. You remember the teachings, that nothing you let go of is truly lost, that endings are beginnings wearing softer clothes, that sleep itself is not an escape, but a rehearsal for trust. And you remember how, in surrendering, you became more whole. Each moment you allowed to pass through you, fear, grief, tenderness, left a kind of music behind, a low vibration of wisdom you can still feel in your chest. Look back now and notice the companions that walked with you, the wind that whispered acceptance, the light that refused to rush, the body that kept returning to breath, the thoughts that softened into clouds. All of them remain, not as forms, but as frequencies. They do not cling, they echo. Echoes do not end. They fade into the distance, yes, but they carry their pattern across the valley. When you pause, you can still hear the tone of what was once said. You can rest. Everything passes. The night gives you this final gift, remembrance without attachment. You have walked through impermanence, and it has left you lighter, not smaller. You understand now that change is not a thief, but a sculptor, shaping, refining, revealing the outline of what matters most. As dawn continues to brighten the air, you can feel gratitude swelling quietly, not for what stayed, but for what moved, for what carried you forward one soft step at a time. The night bows as it leaves. You bow in return. And somewhere within that mutual gesture is the sound of passing and the peace that follows it. Even this night will fade, and that is beautiful. You whisper it not as farewell, but as truth. Everything that held you here, the warmth, the silence, the voice, is beginning to dissolve into the wider morning. The room is lighter now, and with that light comes clarity. You do not need to keep what has already taught you. Impermanence no longer frightens you. It moves through you like a melody you've learned by heart. You hum it softly as you rise, not to hold it, but to honor it. Grief and joy share a table now. They drink from the same cup. They have stopped arguing about who belongs. You smile because you understand their truths. Think of all that has come and gone, the countless mornings before this one, the people you have loved and released, the selves you have worn and outgrown. Each one had its own beauty, its own reason for being. Their departure is not erasure. It is continuity disguised as absence. In Buddhism, they call this anicca, the gentle law that everything changes, and that in change we find compassion. Because once we see that nothing lasts, we stop demanding forever from others. We begin to love in real time, fully, fiercely, without postponement. This is the quiet smile, not born from ignorance of loss, but from intimacy with it. You walk to the window. Outside, the world is awake and ordinary, the kind of ordinary that feels miraculous once you've truly seen it. A cat stretches on a step. A cloud drifts without name. Someone laughs far away, and the laugh feels like it belongs to everyone. This is the gift of passing, the ability to stay present without clutching, to love without owning, to let go without bitterness. Even this breath, the one you're taking right now, will leave you in a moment. But look, it brought peace while it was here. So you smile, small, real, unguarded, not to signal victory over time, but partnership with it. Because impermanence, you've learned, is not the opposite of life. It is the movement that keeps life tender, honest, and awake. Now comes the final practice, to rest inside the truth you've heard all night until the truth itself becomes the pillow beneath your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, whisper softly, inside or aloud. You can rest because everything passes. Again, each time lighter, as if the words were made of air. You can rest because everything passes. Feel how the sentence begins to move through you, not as a thought, but as rhythm. The inhale carries, you can rest. The exhale carries, because everything passes. In this way, the mantra and the breath become the same thing. One continuous prayer that asks for nothing and promises peace. Imagine the phrase expanding outward through the walls, the streets, the sleeping city. Imagine it reaching every restless heart, every hand clenched against change, every soul standing at the edge of surrender. Let the mantra travel to them as softly as mist, as faithfully as dawn. You can rest because everything passes. You are not saying it to end the night, but to bless it. You are not saying it to erase the self, but to remind it that self and world are waves of the same sea. Each crest rises, each curve falls, and the ocean remains. Let memory come and go. Faces, places, hours. Let emotions stir and quiet. Let thoughts appear like fireflies and fade as gently. Nothing needs fixing now. You are held by what moves. Say it once more, and this time feel the echo inside your chest. You can rest because everything passes. The voice within the voice, the stillness within the sound, the blessing behind the words. Now let even the mantra dissolve like salt in warm water. What remains is its essence, a knowing without language, a peace without condition. Stay here a moment, breath becoming silence, silence becoming space, space becoming the simple fact of being. When you open your eyes again, you'll find the world unchanged and new at once, a field of moving light, a reminder that every passing is also a return. And you, listener, traveler, dreamer, you can rest, because everything passes, and everything, even this, is held in love as it does.